Crowd. Started out with a dream. Now look at us. What's a vision if you ain't turning that vision to reality? All you haters can stay mad at me. From a kid to a man, from a man to a star. Bike to a minivan to a supercar. Lights, let me see those hands, show me who you are. Dice, watch him land, go and cop a new car. High stakes, heavyweight shit, came up from the bottom. Only flex flows if you got him. Problems came and forgot him. I'm on that stress-free shit. If I believe, then I can be it. And I aim to be a star. It don't matter who you are or where you come from. Had them wanting more after one song. Every morning I wake up and I'm on some. Put the beat on repeat and get the rhymes done. Started out fun, now it's my life. Married to the game, made rapping my wife. To have and to hold, through sickness and death. At least I'm at the point I can write my own checks. Hit the Royal Rumble, now I'm last man standing. Hard to stay humble when the punches keep landing. 1, 2, uppercut, hook. Learn from the best, can't do it by the book. I was born with the flow, guess it's in my genes. Material raw, but my rhymes stay clean. I don't sip lean, but I smoke a little green. Win some, lose some, stay true to the dream. From a kid to a man, from a man to a star. Bike to a minivan to a supercar. Lights, let me see those hands, show me who you are. Dice, watch him land, go and cop a new car. High stakes, heavyweight shit, came up from the bottom. Only flex flows if you got him. Problems came and forgot him. I'm on that stress-free shit. If I believe, then I can be it.
Yeah, I took my time and it paid off well. Rose back up when I fell. Yeah, got defeated, made me stronger. Cause I need it, I can't wait longer.
Yeah, time is up, clock's been ticking, it's crunch time. Walking the tightrope, but it's a long line. Gotta keep my balance, takes more than talent. If you drink by the liter, gotta sell by the gallon. From a kid to a man, from a man to a star. Bike to a minivan to a supercar. Lights, let me see those hands, show me who you are. Dice, watch him land, go and cop a new car. High stakes, heavyweight shit, came up from the bottom. Only flex flows if you got him. Problems came and forgot him. I'm on that stress-free shit. If I believe, then I can be it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kart Rider Drift League. I'm staying with me is Peter, and today we've got some excellent matches lined up for you. 2 team matches, solo match, Group C. I'm feeling excited. Peter, how you doing, man?
I am also excited. We're back to that weekend schedule, and we finally get to see a bit more of ROX playing their second game today, going up against a team like Potential. And I must say, although they're considered an amateur team, I really think that this team has the potential to go high.
Yeah, they're definitely living up to their name as far as the amateur teams go so far in this tournament. And, you know, KDL Preseason 2, it feels like we're having a few less upsets than we did early on compared to KDL Preseason 1. The veteran teams and the veteran players, not just in team match, but also in solo match, have been doing very well. And I'm curious to see, you know, what these amateur teams are going to come up with today because, you know, some of them, they're going to be walking away with wins, teams that haven't gotten on the board yet so far.
And they will really need those wins because here in the main stage, we are doing a round robin where the teams are fighting against each other for a spot in the top 4 to move on to the postseason, which will be a double elimination bracket. And of course, we have some prize money for the winners, so the teams will be trying to grab those.
Yeah, 40 million Korean won first place prize. Everybody wants to get their hands on that one. As we're looking to crown a new champion here at KDL Preseason 2 right now, Aura in first place with a stunning +9 round win. I think they were the first team, if I remember correctly, to have a 6-0 score in any of their matches. So they've been killing it so far, looking very strong. The Freaks, Live Sandbox, and Seongnam ROX also undefeated so far today. And, you know, today, Sensation, Potential, ShowTime, all those 3 teams are playing in addition to Seongnam ROX. They haven't gotten any wins on the board yet, so, you know, hopefully they're going to be able to draw first blood here, get that momentum rolling a little bit, because we would love to see some of these amateur teams start to contest with the pros.
Yep, and speaking of amateurs going against the pros, of course, we can't get better than Seongnam ROX going up against Potential today for our first match, followed by ShowTime and Sensation going against each other. It'll be a matter of question which team will be the first one to pick up their victory for Preseason 2 there. And of course, the highly coveted Group C, we got to talk a little bit into it last time, and there are some players that we have our eyes on.
Yeah, DDING, SUNGBIN, Load, and HyunSu, probably my 4 favorites. I know you said you have the exact same 4 picks to advance from Group C, but we'll see if there's any upsets. The thing about this group is there's a lot of rookies coming in here and a lot of established veterans as well. You know, it's kind of a mishmash. And I don't see a world where, you know, DDING, SUNGBIN, HyunSu don't make it out of this group. From the rookies, maybe we can have an upset, like maybe Skald, Feiz, Joker, they can have a nice day, but you know, Load has been looking so good in the preliminaries. He did very well. I think it's going to be an exciting group to watch.
For sure. I mean, we always love to see upsets happen, but so far in the solo matches in Group A and B, it didn't happen at all. But now, coming back into our team matches, of course, we have Seongnam ROX coming onto the stage. This team has gone through a slight roster change by bringing in DDING, and so far it has done well for them.
Yeah, bringing in the former runner of Team Reboot has been doing well for this team as Seongnam ROX looking to solidify their position as a pro team here. Now that they have this new sponsor, Seongnam, going to be a lot of momentum behind them as they're looking to do even better than they did in KDL Preseason 1. I mean, a lot of their wins came down to heroics. I think it was, what, 4 or 5 wins that they had that were just based on the ace match 1v1 prowess of their star player, Jong. And, you know, this season, they're looking like a more solid all-around roster. They might not even need to rely on that ace in the hole as much as they did last time.
However, we're basing that only off of 1 match. So Potential, now it's their time to come in and really prove what this new roster of ROX is able to do against them. And I feel like Potential is a team amongst the amateur teams where in the first week instantly we were like, okay, there's something different about this team. Potential, they're fighting against the likes of Guangdong Freaks and Live Sandbox, taking them to the ace matches. And I feel like even in the standings, it reflects on that because of their round wins. They are sitting at about 6th place.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a tough schedule to start a season off on, right? I mean, going against the first place and the second place team from the previous KDL preseason is always going to be a gauntlet, especially for a rookie team like Potential. But keep in mind, that first match against the Freaks, it went all the way to the ace. And against Live Sandbox, they played very well there too. So, a lot of potential here. from our rookies today, but Seongnam ROX, they want to keep the ball going. They got their first victory accomplished. They're going to try to find their perfect combination after signing DDING and go for another win. And right now, speed average ranked DDING actually in first overall.
We talked about that earlier. Before it was Hero with that first place, but now it's DDING taking that over as we see a message from ROX. Back-to-back ace matches must be tiring. We'll send you home early today. Take a good rest.
I mean, Potential, they have been going the distance so far against Live Sandbox. They beat them in item mode. Live Sandbox was a fantastic item mode team last season, and they almost even beat the Freaks in speed. That went all the way to track number 5, unfortunately losing 2-3 there and then winning 3-2 in item to force an ace match in their first match of KDL Preseason 2. Is a Potential, they have not gone down without a fight, and I love what you said earlier about how this amateur team, it feels different. They're going up against Titans here in the KDL, and they are putting on a good show.
Absolutely. You know, we can see the producers agreeing with it, saying Potential are throwing a blow so far against the strong teams, especially in the item matches, because that's where they've been able to force the ace matches to happen. So if Potential is able to win in speed today against Seongnam ROX, that would be very concerning for the former team. But here we're saying Gutsy will win today and bench you from Summer Invest.
Yeah, ROX, of course, is one of those teams that has a very large roster here, so not everybody can actually show up and play on stage. And Potential, they want to bench Gutsy, man. They want to come through with another win here. And, you know, with Banana, especially this guy right here, and Taemin coming over from Finale, the item ace and the hybrid player of Finale Esports joining forces here on Potential, that's a big reason why they have been so good, so solid in item mode, especially with this new, more aggressive item mode meta.
Yeah, I love that the meta has been playing well to their liking so far, but the speed priority was chosen by Potential, so they managed to pick up New York Rally for themselves, which I do feel is a track favored by a lot of these amateur teams. I'm a little bit surprised to see the Japan circuit by ROX, however.
And Japan circuit's going to be track number 2, followed by Factory Facility 5, Glacier Extreme Stadium, and Brazil circuit should we go to a round 4 and round 5. And yeah, we're not seeing too many of the extremely difficult tracks such as Zigzag Timberland or Terracotta Twister. In fact, both those maps getting banned out by Potential. The latter portion here of this draft is, it kind of makes you wonder exactly where these teams stand here in speed mode. It does really feel like the biggest skill difference overall right now here in the KDL between the amateur teams and professional teams is speed mode, especially on those difficult tracks.
I love that Glacier Extreme Stadium was picked up by ROX there, so I'm looking to see what they'll bring us there, but of course our first match is going to be ready in World Tour New York Rally.
And here we go, starting things off tonight, Seongnam ROX versus Potential here on World Tour New York Rally, as ROX off to a great start. They're doing their best to try and manage the top 2 positions, but Taemin just going so fast right now. Look at all these micro bursts going through, man. They're so quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Potential had a fantastic start, but ROX, they're quick to recover on that 1-2-3. Jung, I love that he mentioned that he wants to be a supportive player for DDING this season, with DDING playing that kind of main runner role, and it's going really well so far.
Yeah, fantastic start here for ROX with DDING and Spell holding on to those top 2 spots. Summer's going to do his best to contest it. Actually, a bit of collision there for Spell is going to mean that Summer is going to face DDING here in this 1v1, and with a lot of speed, he will be able to take that first place position, but there are 3 ROX players right behind him.
I love that recovery from Spell. He was not faced by that at all. Now, coming in with a very strong position advantage for ROX here. DDING recovering that first place as well. Taemin, he needs to try his hardest to keep up with Summer.
Yeah, Taemin is doing his best to try and lend a little bit more support here in the upper ranks as we just continue to trade hands. I'm watching the bottom left of the board, and this score just keeps changing. 19-20, 20-19 is right now PO in the front, with Summer holding on in first place, Taemin there in third. Very close race so far.
Taemin does have the outer line right now. However, Spell's going to go into the outer as well to block him. Now, Summer is still holding on to that first place, effectively blocking out DDING and Spell. If he can manage that, that is what they need.
Yeah, only 500 meters away right now. ROX in the lead with DDING holding on to first place. He has to hold that here against Summer. Oh, it's so close right now, and I think Potential by 1 point is going to take track number one here against Seongnam ROX, and a bit of an upset on World Tour New York Rally. It was neck and neck the entire way through that race. No critical mistakes on either team, and PO with a 1-4-5 finish going to get the better end of that trade, 20-19. So close, Peter.
Such a fantastic start for Potential here in Speed. We were talking about earlier how Potential won both in item matches against Live Sandbox and Guangdong Freaks, but if they can keep up with a team like Seongnam ROX and Speed, we might not even see an ace match and see Potential go 2-0 here.
Yeah, there is that potential, man. I mean, they've been looking so good in item mode so far, beating not only the first place, but the second place teams from KDL Preseason 1 in item mode in their first two matches of Preseason 2. And you can see Taman, he's feeling good about that one, as taking your first map against ROX has got to be feeling really good.
Honestly, that match, it just felt back and forth the whole entire time. Not a single moment did we have a team clearly in the lead, and I feel like that also speaks into volume of how well matched these two teams are. And before actually getting into the match, I wonder how many people would have said Potential and ROX, they're the same in speed.
Yeah, we're going to have to find out whether Potential can keep the momentum going as we get ready to go to track number 2. It's going to be WKC Japan Circuit.
Speed round 2 begins with Potential in the lead. This track was picked up by ROX. Let's see if Jung and Dutzy can keep up their lead.
Yeah, Jung off to a great start right now, building a lot of distance here in first place. His team is going to try and contest him, but ROX doing a much better job of consolidating their position here in the front ranks compared to the previous track. So Potential, they have to fight a little bit from behind. We'll see if any sweeps come through.
Yeah, right now, Taemin, he's been doing phenomenal so far in speed, keeping up a very high position always against ROX.
It was a nice move by Best, not only blocking one of the ROX players, but also using that to take a tight line and find his way into first place. He does get supplanted there by Dutzy here for a moment, but you can see him closing the distance with these drafts, trying to reclaim in first place. And right now, I'm liking ROX's position. DDING and Jung here at 3-4, Spell right behind them there, and 5. Summer and Wave are really lagging behind.
That's the thing about ROX. It always feels like these 4 are just synchronized. They're always in the top 4 ranks, whereas for Potential, it's always been 2 players maintaining some, pressure on that 1-2 I was about to say, but Summer is going to fall behind off that collision.
Yeah, we'll see as we're getting ready to go into lap number 3 very shortly here. ROX still in a commanding position, holding on to both 1, 3, and 4. Taemin is doing his best to try and cause problems and create space for his teammates to close the distance. You see Wave also trying to get in between these racers here. But man, it's looking really good for ROX, Peter.
Yeah, ROX, they still have an ironclad control over that 1-2 with DDING and Dutzy. Even if Summer takes that second spot away, it's 1-3-4-5 for ROX. You know, Potentials has to catch up right now, buy more time for Best.
Yeah, and you can see Summer just relentlessly trying to cause problems. Same with Wave here, colliding with Dutzy, trying to take a little bit of this momentum away from the ROX players at the top, but it's going to be 1-2-3 here for DDING, Jung, and Dutzy. They're not giving an inch.
Not at all. You see Dutzy slowing down, and he's absolutely able to block out the lines of 3 players on Potential. Now Summer, he's been already far taken off his line, and it's going to be DDING, Jung, 1-2 punch combo.
Yeah, ROX just with a commanding lead from start to finish. I mean, it felt like from the get-go they had an iron grip on first and second place, and even though Summer was at times contesting it, it was oftentimes a 3v1 where Summer is just trying to create problems, try and develop some space, get some room for his teammates to come in, bring in the cavalry, so to speak, but PO just unable to pull it off, and that's be ROX with a 1-2 finish. DDING also setting a new record on that track, just above 2 minutes.
Given how one-sided this track felt, I know this is going to be a huge confidence boost for Seongnam ROX because they've been really good at speed always, not only in Preseason 2, also in Preseason 1. And as long as they beat Potential here, they have been doing pretty good so far in item mode as well in Preseason 2, so they may not need to rely on Jung for that ace match.
I mean, bringing in DDING does give them a little bit more maneuverability there in item mode. A little bit more flexibility, as that was a weak point for them in KDL Preseason 1, and it came to bite them in the postseason. So, for ROX, their win condition here is you want to at least secure speed. You know the potential. They've been so good in item mode throughout their first 2 matches here in KDL Preseason 2. if you win speed, no matter what, you're going to an ace match where you can use your best player, Jung, perhaps the best 1v1 player in the world right now in KDL. And ROX, they're now only 2 track wins away as it's all tied up 1-1.
Yeah, but it seems we are ready now to enter once again a track chosen by Potential themselves. So let's see if they can return some blow in Factory Facility 5.
And off we go on Facility 5. Both these teams just 2 track wins away from securing the speed round victory here. Summer off to another great start, man. He's been doing so well here for Potential. It feels like every single track he's contesting first place.
Yeah, and this time he did have some support there from Wave and Temin. You know, as long as they can keep up that 1-2 and apply some pressure to ROX, but Wave is gonna fall off the track.
Yeah, Wave barely missed the shortcut there. That's gonna take all this momentum out from him. So there's a lot more pressure now on Summer and Wave to hold on to those top 2 spots because ROX, they're gonna be so much more solid here in the middle field.
As you said, Summer keeps being that clutch player for Potential, but at this point with 2-3-4 flank from Seongnam ROX, it's looking really rough, and this is a 1-lapper track, so there's not a lot of time for recovery.
Yeah, it is a long 1-lapper, but as you said, time is running out for PO to try and gain some ground. You see Taemin trying to close the distance. They have to create problems here, but Summer, we barely missed that. I think it might have been a collision there, perhaps some sweeping from DDING that knocks Summer back. Loses some momentum now, and once again, 1-2 finish here for ROX. I mean, they're looking so good.
Yeah, there's no way for Summer to really stop this 1-2 punch right now from ROX. He is so far behind in Summer. He's trying all he can. He's just focusing on his line, but then there's Spell to come in and try to go for some sweeping.
Yeah, and even the Nitrous gauge boosting has not been that fantastic here for Spell as he's trying to close the distance, but, or Summer, excuse me, is this going to be another 1-2 finish there for ROX that felt like really straight away from the middle field. As soon as that collision happened and Summer lost a little bit of momentum, I mean, ROX, these racers at top, DDING and Jug, they are not going to give you any room to come back in that kind of situation. Now only 1 track win away from securing the speed mode win is a little bit more of what we were expecting from ROX coming here into speed mode.
Yeah, this is absolutely classic ROX right here. Of course, DDING and Jung liking to go for that 1-2, but as you see, Spell and Dutsy, they were always there contesting 3, 4, 5, and it feels like they're always outclassing the other 2 in Potential, always winning the body checks.
Yeah, and that early missed shortcut there for Potential hurt them a lot because it puts so much more pressure on your leading players, your runners, your speed aces to try and secure those top positions because, you know, ROX, assuming they just hold on to 2, 3, 4, that's also a win, right? So,
right.
You know, it leads to a little bit more greedy play there from PO, and unfortunately they weren't able to make anything happen with it. As we see Wave, a replay here of him barely missing that connection onto the shortcut. So much momentum lost there for PO, so much pressure on Summer to try and make a play happen. Wasn't able to do it. DDING and Jung coming away again with a 1-2.
Summer's been doing great so far, so as long as his teammates can keep up with him, I'm sure they'll be able to find a response here in Glacier Extreme Stadium for our 4th track. This is match point here for Seongnam ROX. If they win on this one, it is going to be now moving on to item mode. So we'll see if Dutsy and DDING can keep up that 1-2.
Yeah, and for the 5 tracks we have picked here in speed, Glacier Extreme Stadium is one of the more difficult ones with hairpin turns and a lot of really tight lines. There are plays that can be made here, so you got to think that ROX, with their raw skill and speed, are going to be very happy to be playing this track here on match point.
Absolutely, this is definitely one of their most practiced tracks, so I was actually surprised that Potential was giving this one over to ROX because you can see that 1-3-4 grip, and Best makes a really big mistake. He's going to lose so much speed off that.
Yeah, Best just barely clipping the wall there, and now 7 and 8 positions are way behind the rest of the pack here for PO. Is, you know, Summer and Taemin, they have to try and make 1-2 happen, but, you know, DDING and Spell, they're doing a great job of holding on to top 2, and ROX, I mean, they have so much time here where they can just create problems. See Dutsy right there with a bit of sweeping, just creating issues with Taemin. He's trying to zone him out. Jung's coming in as well, doing a little bit of team play, as he's not going to let Taemin take the best line possible. I mean, these collisions are just relentless
Yeah, it feels like Summer and Temin are always playing 2v4. Now Wave does manage to catch up and he applies pressure to Jung, but that is not the player that he needs to be on right now. He needs to get on top of DDING and Spell somehow.
Yeah, Jung does fall to 8th place, but that was a sacrifice this team calculated. That was Jung creating collisions, giving space to the lead racers here for ROX in the second final lap as DDING and Spell right now are running away with this run. And if they get that 1-2 finish, that's a guaranteed win. So see Jutsi try and make some problems here for Summer.
Yeah, he did make a lot of problems because Summer got completely thrown offline at this point. There's no hope in catching up to 1-2 at all. Dusty's just going to stroll along, and I expect him to go for a crazy tackle play.
I don't even think he needs it, man. 300 meters away, and so much distance between Summer and first and second place as ROX with another 1-2 finish. I mean, they did lose track number 1, but track 2, 3, and 4, they looked so dominant here in speed mode.
Exactly. The form of ROX today is extremely scary to me, State. Even when they lost to Potential in round number 1, it was so close that it could have gone either way, and then just coming in and sweeping round 2, 3, 4, it has to put some dent in the mentality of the players of Potential. The one thing they have going for them is that if they were able to beat Live Sandbox and Gwanglong Creeks in item mode, they have to be able to replicate that here today against Seongnam ROX.
Yeah, but I mean, for Potential, this has kind of just been the situation that they've been in for the past week and a half, right? You know, their first 2 matches against Live Sandbox and the Freaks, they lost in speed mode, they came back in item, and it went to ace. And yes, they did lose those ace match tracks, but they were able to go the distance. And, you know, ROX, historically, not one of the better teams in item mode here at KDL. We'll see if DDING, coming over from Reboot, is going to be able to make a difference for them here, but PEO, they've been looking really good, not only just against the Freaks, but against Live Sandbox, which was one of the stronger teams in item, right? So you got to think that the pressure's going to be on here for ROX to secure the 2-0 sweep.
Yeah, and Plansy, who just got swapped in as the item ace for ROX, he did mention that he got nerfed by the magnet item.
Yeah.
So it's a bit concerning for him because on the other side, we have Banana coming in for Potential, and Banana has been looking absolutely on top form with this new meta shift.
Yeah, the item ace for Potential, Banana coming over from Finale after KDL Preseason 1, along with his former teammate and once again teammate Taemin, have really shored up the item mode speciality here for this team as we look at the item track list. Map number 1 going to be played on Village Town Hall, followed by Clockwork Crossing, World Tour London Night, Glacier Polar Halfpipe, and Cogwheel Crush for track number 5. And you know, Potential, they've just been looking so good, and it feels like this new, more aggressive item meta has really been favoring their playstyle so far here in KDL.
Yeah, and you can see the respect ban on Shark's Wake coming out from Seongnam ROX because Banana did mention that Glacier Shark's Wake is a track where he wants to show off some of his personal strategies. We're not going to get to see that today. Desert Pharaoh's Pass also being banned out. On the other side, we have Sphinx's Riddle and Mother Lode being banned out by Potential. I feel like these 3 tracks, however, they have to be personal because these are not some of the more commonly banned tracks for item.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to really read into exactly why certain maps are banned by these teams so early in the season, because we can't really look into the mind's eye of the player and understand what they're thinking strategically going into this. It's a lot more complicated drafting for item mode in this sense than it is for speed, where oftentimes it's about raw skill. And this one, it's about trying to devise a plan to secure the win here in item mode. As we're getting ready to go into track number 1 already, it's going to be Village Town Hall. ROX already up in speed mode.
We begin our item round 1 between our 2 teams, Potential and Seongnam ROX. This is going to be a 3-lapper track.
Yep, 3-lapper here, going to be a longer one on Town Hall as we have a little bit of time to talk about some of the balance changes that have happened here in item mode coming in from KDL Preseason 1 to KDL Preseason 2. I mean, you talked about one of the players, you know, complaining a little bit about the magnet and how it's nerfed their strategy specifically. Of course, the acceleration from that magnet, not quite what it was in KDL Preseason 1. Oftentimes in Preseason 1, we would see teams try to set up with 1, 2, maybe even 3 racers with a wombo combo of, you know, magnets and nitrous, and then somebody just holds on to angel shields and you go for the Hail Mary play right at the end. But now with this new, more aggressive meta where, you know, we have more water wisp coming out, we have more rockets coming out, the propagation of those items has increased, and the effect of all these different speed items in item mode have decreased. It's really shaken things up.
Yeah, that's why you can see a lot of players holding on to their shields more often than not. In Preseason 1, Angels were always a thing that players held on to, but now even shields, you can see players really trying to hog that up and then go for the first play so that they can absorb some aggro. EMP wave, I like that it also became a thing in the meta now, whereas in Preseason 1, EMP was like, ugh, I don't want this.
Yeah, EMP affecting magnets now is definitely a big bust for that item, so there's definitely more of a wide range of possibilities here for strategy, and I feel like for a player like we see right now on screen, Banana, who is known for his item speciality, I mean, this is his bread and butter, right? This is what he does best, his plan for these crazy situations. So the more complicated the game gets, the better it is for him and his team.
Yeah, the presence of Banana absolutely threw Plansy off there, but now we have Taemin strongly in the lead along with Banana. In fact, Taemin is so far away right now.
Yeah, 500 meters away. We're going to see if ROX is actually able to close the distance. There's a lot of attacks, in fact, coming in here on Taemin. He does speed out. Magnet coming in. Thunderbolt as well. Will it be enough? No, he's still going to have enough momentum to carry him across the finish line there ahead of Jong. Despite all of the attacks, he weathered the storm, and PO going to win lap number 1.
This is the thing.
Track number 1.
Yeah, I mean, potential. This team looks absolutely unstoppable right now in item mode. We may have to look at this team as one of our best item mode teams in Season 2 of KDL, because with Banana doing shot calling and Taemin being able to go for the clutch first place finishes like this, you can see even when Taemin got stopped out by the missile, Jung was still a mile away from him.
Yeah, Banana, definitely big brain to have on this operation. And Taemin, such a good hybrid player. Both these players coming over from Finale to form this team. Potential has been such a boon. This squad looks so good in item mode right now, especially here in this new meta. And of all the teams here in KDL Preseason 2, they probably have, I mean, it's not even probably, they have the most difficult schedule to start things out, right? They played against Liv Sandbox, they played against the Freaks, now they're playing against ROX. All these pro teams, and consistently they're able to win tracks like this in item mode, even winning the set in item mode against both Liv Sandbox and the Freaks. They're looking so good, man, and you know, even if they can't come away with a win here today, which remains to be seen, I'm feeling really confident that we're going to see them in the postseason if they can keep this performance up, because they just look so solid in item.
Absolutely, I think Potential definitely stands to be one of our favorite amateur rookie teams right now due to how strong they're looking. And let's see if they can continue to look strong in track number 2, Village Clock Tower Crossing.
Here we go, track number 2 on Clock Tower Crossing. Plant Potential, excuse me, up 1-0. I get so jumbled up with all these P names, man.
Yeah, I got confused by the name of it earlier too, but it's looking like we have another 3-lapper here, but one difference is that when you're in Clock Tower Crossing, the leads actually start to matter more so than other tracks in item mode, so we're seeing Dutzy already trying to use that up, taking that first place. He's miles ahead of Taemin.
Yeah, some water balloons coming in as it looks like Pio's going to try and close the distance a little bit here. Taemin just with the water balloon. Oh, actually gets knocked off the track. So Taemin going to be pushed all the way back into 8th place is now his Plansy. Look at that body blocking, or at least until he got water with. Trying to cause some problems here for Summer, but Summer, speed ace here for Pio. He is going to close the distance. You know, with 2 rockets, he should be able to pass Dutzy.
Yep, but Dutzy does get caught out by the missile as well. He's going to spin out of control, now targeted by a UFO as well. Now we're seeing Plansy make use of that opportunity to speed across the track. He's sitting on only 1 shield, so I do believe that he's going to get sent back soon.
Yeah, most likely. Is oftentimes these racers here at the front in item mode, especially in this new, more aggressive meta, I mean, you just kind of take the aggro for your team, and it's like passing the baton, right? The next racer comes up behind you. In this case, it might be Jong. Should Plansy take more attacks, but I say that, look at all this distance that Plansy's creating, and never mind, I say that, and then he gets UFO'd and water ballooned.
Yep, I mean, at this point, we're only into the 2nd lap, just barely going into 3rd lap now, and a lot of the water bombs, they're just going to catch you if you don't have a shield at that time, so it's really hard to build yourself a lead so far. There's only Ding and Dutzy in 1-2, Summer not too far behind.
Yeah, Ding using another shield there to deflect that attack, and now he's out of it, holding onto the nitrous and the EMP as Summer, first place, does get spinned out there by another rocket. Not Taemin and Plansy here in first place as the attacks just continue to rain in, and looking at the inventory setup, Not a lot of shields really in play, as most of the attacks have been exhausted. 500 meters now
Ooh,
away from the
gutsy.
finish line. Pio is 2 racers in contention to finish this thing. Oh, look at this Summer and Wave, man. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch up. That's it. Pio with another win. Coming down to the wire there. They just had so many bodies at the front of the peloton. Wave and Summer able to win with a 1-2 finish. I mean, they had insurance there, man. Pio just looking so good. It feels like they have such a good grasp on item mode.
Dutzy tried to be that leading player for Seongnam ROX, but unfortunately he did get caught off guard by an item being sent back all the way, and at that point it was really easy for Potential to just come in with their positional advantage that they've already maintained. And when you enter that really narrow corner, you can really solidify your lead, and that's exactly what happened. There was no chance for ROX to really come back at that point.
Yeah, even if it was closer, I mean, Pio just had the bodies to also block people there in that narrow corridor, leading up into the finish line, allows Summer to pass through unscathed. So it's going to be match point now. Pio actually looking to potentially sweep item mode with a 3-0 and force an ace match.
So far, they haven't had any clean sweeps like that in item mode, but definitely it would be good for them to start getting that here. As we saw, this is the moment where Taemin and Wave, they were so far ahead that even with Taemin being knocked out, Wave was just simply able to stroll over, maintain his line, and secure that first place.
Yeah, and DDING also not having a shield there just hurts so much. That rocket not only spins it out, but you can't control the vehicle anymore, and he crashes into the barricade. So much momentum lost there for ROX. It feels like Pio just so good at setting up to have just enough bodies at the finish line that you can't even contest all of them. And we'll see if that strategy continues to pay out here as we're getting ready to go to track number 3, World Tour London Night.
This is match point for Potential. Let's see if they can secure their first clean 3-0 sweep in item mode.
They might be able to, man. They've been looking so good so far here today in item. I mean, as good as ROX looked at speed mode, Pio's looking just as dominant here so far these first 2 tracks in item mode. And it just feels like the play calling has been so solid. You know, these wins, oftentimes in item mode in KDL Preseason 1, it seemed like they would come down to the wire. It would just be, you know, moments away from the other team supplanting them and taking the victory. But Potential just feels like they're in such good control all of the time.
I do feel, however, that World Tour London Night is a track that still makes you feel that way, where you never know when someone might suddenly take over, because when you pass that Ferris wheel, that's when a lot of the attacks tend to happen. And if you get caught off guard there, your line is done for, and it allows for some crazy outplays to happen where a player behind you can suddenly catch up and be in the lead. So won't be too surprised to see that happen in our 3rd lap. We can already see double lightning being held by Planty.
Yeah, but look at the distance that Pio Taven is already creating, and he has double shield as well. I mean, on the mini-map, that's got to be, what, 50-plus meters ahead of Dutzy? And, you know, Wave right now in 2nd place, he's also absorbing a lot of this aggro. So Pio, they're in a really good spot, and although there is a lot of, you know, map left to be played here as we're only getting ready to go into lap number 3, I'm liking this position for Pio a lot.
Yeah, DDING, he's pretty much accepted his mission as the guy to target him, but he's going to get tapped out by the water bombs, and at this point, it's really hard to catch up to Taemin.
Yeah, Taemin does have 2 shields. He pops one to defend, picks up another one instantly, so a lot more defense here in the bag.
Oh my
Pio
goodness!
with just relentless attacks here, shoring up the defense. Some are going to try and do some body blocking too there onto Jung. He will get spun out as the bridge continues to shift, but man, Taemin is so far away, 500 meters from the finish line.
Oh, the Water Wisp is going to come in clutch, and this is what we talked about. Taemin's line is now completely done for. Jung, he does have the boost. He's going to try to use it to go all the way into the finish line for Seongnam ROX.
Oh man, Jung just able to pull the rabbit out of the hat there. Those final attacks onto Taemin. So you can see them laughing. That one was looking really scary coming down to the wire, but ROX just had the perfect storm of attacks there onto Taemin. He was able to withstand them all the way through lap number 2, almost all the way through lap number 3, but just enough came through right before that finish line that ROX is able to get on the board. It's going to be 2-1 right now, Pio leading item mode.
This match was a perfect example of why London Night has so much volatility, is because we thought Taemin could do it with the humongous lead he had. I mean, let's be real here. If you're able to create that much distance in item mode in a professional play and you still can't win off that, then how do you do it, right?
Yeah, but it was what? It was maybe a rocket or a water wisp plus a magnet, plus a nitrous there for ROX. So they had so much speed and also so much offense, so much utility in their tool belt to secure the win there. And I feel like if they want to get the 2-0 sweep here against Team Potential, they're gonna have to do more of that.
Yeah, I mean, they do need to win 2 tracks back-to-back here after that win, but I'm sure Seongnam ROX is a team that can pull it off because they have really improved on their item mode so far as a team in preseason too.
Yeah, they certainly are looking better, but they're potentially going up against one of the best of the best as we get a replay here. The attack's coming in. That one water risk does pop his shield, but Taemin didn't have a second one, so these attacks coming in from Jong, plus Magnet slowing down Taemin, and then finally the nitrous here, the cherry on top, as ROX was able to deliver the win. PO just not enough utility to really defend him there in the middle ranks and prevent the cavalry of ROX to come in and secure that victory.
Yeah, and the timing of those water wisps back-to-back was super on point. That's one of the things we look for in item mode, the timing of the item usage. But we are ready for track number 4. Let's see if ROX can bring another point on the board in Glacier Polar Halfpipe.
Here we go, item round number 4. PO still 1 track win away from securing that ace match here against ROX. ROX needs 2 more victories to complete the reverse sweep.
Yeah, and I think Glacier Polar Halfpipe is going to be a track where it's definitely possible for ROX to come back. I feel like this track, it pretty much comes down to what items you have in the final lap. I feel like magnets and boosters are still very relevant here.
Yeah, you really want to have a boost or some kind of magnet to give you the momentum to take that shortcut there that we just passed and get you in a position where you can really contest that finish line against the opposing team. So we'll see exactly how that comes through, but keep in mind that this is also a map where it's very hard to dodge water balloons and other attacks because of the half-pipe nature of it, right? You have to go so far up the edges of those pipes to actually avoid any water balloons coming through. And once again here for PO, they do have one player just kind of racing away, but Jung with so much movement here, even with a magnet in his tool belt, should be able to get a lot of speed.
Yeah, but he's going to choose not to use it just yet because he's in the second lap only. Wave is sitting up in the front. He picks up a banana, which is not what he wants. He's going to cycle through it right away. Taemin also doesn't have any defensive capability, so we should be seeing the lightnings utilized by ROX when the timing is right.
Only about 100 meters away from first place right now is Jung, and let's see, is Wave only with 1 shield. Some attacks could come in, and it's actually going to break that barricade there.
Yeah,
coming
that
through.
was a huge barricade sitting back. Progress very far, but now Wave does seem to have a nice lead for himself. Banana trying to block out Jung from getting close to him.
Yeah, but Banana, excuse me, does have that magnet. We'll see if he pops it here on Jung to try and slow him down and create a little bit more space here for Wave as we are on that final lap. And actually a boost right there as Banana's going to go all the way up here onto this shortcut.
Yeah, and that was an excellent block from Banana as well. Now it's Dudsy trying to catch up to Wave. Wave is sitting on a shield as well as an EMP. Perfect usage of shield there to block out the water bomb. Lightnings are going to get popped. The Angel is there. Wave, he gets hit by another lightning.
Oh, another lightning pop, but Ting gets stunned. And then we'll see going down to the finish line. Dudsy's so close. Oh my goodness. It was actually Plansy off screen on the right side, and that one was pure chaos right there at the finish line. So many attacks coming through. It was hard to tell who was going to be able to walk away with the victory, but it's going to be ROX Plansy on the outside line, taking the win there and going to the pivotal 5th round.
The lightning came in so clutch for ROX. Potential, once they got hit by that twice in a row, you saw Banana no longer trying to go for the first place finish. He actually tried to go for sweeping instead, and you can see it didn't really work out well. Clancy and Jung came in, 1-2, huge lead for them. And now the board is tied 2-2. Will ROX be able to give Potential their first item set loss of preseason 2?
Yeah, I really thought with that magnet there for Banana that he was going to be able to make something happen to catapult himself across that finish line, but the attacks for ROX were just relentless there right before the end of the track, and now they're only 1 win away from completing the reverse sweep and avoiding that ace match. PO, they would love to get 1 more win here as we're getting ready to go to the decider. Round number 5, item mode here between ROX and PO. Let's play it out on Factory Cogwheel Crush.
off we go into the decider match of it all. Whoever wins this round is going to take the set point in item mode, and this is a 2-lapper track. We have Thing sitting up in the front with a shield.
Yeah, Cogwheel Crush, a lot of fun, a lot of interesting situations can develop here on this track, as you see Bananas getting dropped here by these machines in the factory. And Jung right now just taking the outside line, trying to avoid any kind of water balloons coming through. I'm liking what we're seeing out of ROX these previous couple of tracks with these attacks, Peter. They've been looking really solid.
Yeah, they definitely have some of their momentum back in their belt, but now it's Taemin and Banana. The very strong item mode duo, I must say, for Potential. Being in the front, that is pretty concerning, especially when you have Banana sitting with the shield. Even if you knock him down, he's got a magnet in his pocket.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of support Wave is able to deliver there from the back ranks. There's actually a lot of racers here going to be able to come in through this speed boost. I think this is more than I've seen on pretty much, I think it's like the entire lobby more or less. Maybe only Summer was the only racer who wasn't able to take that shortcut there, as speeding things along as we get ready to go to lap number 2.
Yeah, Banana's going to get hit by a barricade there with the lightning as well. Going to set him back really far, all the way into 8th place. Now, there's some momentum for Roxer with the 1-3-4. Wave and Summer, Banana catching back up. Dutsy, he only has a Banana, which is not very ideal in that top spot.
No, watch to see him cycle through that as soon as he possibly can here, as he does want to hold on to that nitrous for sure, and he will be able to pick up a UFO, so the utility there to have in the belt. Wave right now in first place for Potential with 2 shields. We'll try to take some of this aggro, but my worry here for PO is that they don't have a lot more speed behind them.
But what's scary is that Summer is holding on to a lightning, and that is going to apply a lot of pressure to ROX to make sure that they have the Angels ready for that moment. But keep in mind that Angel only blocks 1 item now, so that does open up, you know, Water Wisp coming in if they use that Angel.
It's getting really close here as we're entering the twilight stages of lap number 2, getting closer and closer to that decider. 500 meters away, Wave and Taemin right now in front. UFO does abduct Taemin though, and Clancy, Angel Shield does get popped. Magnet also slowing him down. We'll see who it is that's passing. It's gonna be Taemin, and will he be able to have enough momentum? Yes! Potential prevents the reverse sweep. They win item mode 3-2 here against ROX. Their 3rd item mode win in a row against professional teams here at KDL Preseason 2, as they will take us to that ace match.
That was extremely clutch from Taemin there. Not only did he manage to be the first racer across the finish line, he was also able to do line blocking simultaneously. And I feel like that was super crucial, because if you look at how the race ended, it was 2-3-4 for ROX. If any of them found the window, the outer or the inners on Taemin, that could have been game over for Potential.
It could have been, but Potential, their item skill continues to shine through, as this just feels like their mode right now, man. They seem to have the best understanding by far of any team here in the KDL Preseason in item mode. I mean, that's half the team matches, right? That's such a pivotal part of their game. My question is, though, do they have anybody on their roster who's going to be able to stop Jung? Because Summer, although he has been coming close against the Freaks, against Lip Sandbox in these ace matches, Jung is another beast entirely. If you missed his story arc in KDL Preseason 1, this guy went undefeated in ace matches. Every single victory that ROX Esports had in the previous season was on his back in those ace matches. It's like a boss fight, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if Potential's gonna be able to pull it off.
It definitely wouldn't be over-exaggerating to say that Jung was the reason why ROX even made it to the postseason in Preseason 1. But I feel like if you give another opportunity to Summer here as Team Potential for your ace match player, I think that it might be the chance for redemption, because so far Summer has played against 2 really strong teams, as you mentioned, State. It was World from Guangdong Freaks and Neil from Live Sandbox. You know, he needs to get that confidence back on track, because as Potential has so many more matches left to play, there will be more ace matches to be played as well.
Absolutely, especially considering how good they are in item mode and how much they've been struggling in speed mode against these pro teams. You got to think that more ace matches are in the cards, and Summer as the speed ace for Potential, I do think he will be the pick, but it's just so much pressure. I mean, your team, they've been training all week for this match against ROX Esports. They want to do their best, come through, deliver a win, and now it's all on your shoulders as the ace, right? To come through in a 1v1 situation, one track, against one of the best 1v1 racers in the entire world in Jung.
You know, I like that we're kind of assuming Jung's gonna come out, but ROX, they're having a very serious discussion right now, and you have to wonder, what are they talking about?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're feeling confident enough, or maybe they want to give Ding, who's a great racer in his own right, a chance, but you know, just considering what happened in KDL Preseason 1, I would be so surprised to see anybody else out here for ROX, but you're right, it is possible.
Yeah, we are absolutely anticipating that decision coming from ROX. Will it be Ding or will it be Jung to continue on his momentum that he showed in Preseason 1? We see the high fives being exchanged there as well. We don't know who's going to represent ROX.
It seems like a decision has been made, potentially for both teams. Is Best, are you getting ready to game? Oh, hands below the keyboard, okay. All right, trying to read the body language here. I'm so curious who the gamers are going to be to come out in this 1v1 match. I mean, ace matches, they are the cherry on top any day of KDL, right?
Yeah, I honestly think that Summer is gonna be the choice for potential. Obviously, there's no chance of even wondering who's gonna be the player there, but now the track is ready. It's going to be Desert Construction Chaos.
Desert Construction Chaos. I've had ace matches on this track in the past. It's a difficult one, man. It's hard to pass if you go into the uphill section, you're not able to find any ground. Body blocking can be so key here. We'll see who the racers are going to be for each team. So I can't wait for the reveal. Is it going to be Jung? Are they going to let the new blood Ding, who joined the team, represent them? Is PO going to go back to their speed ace in Summer? And yeah, it's going to be Ding versus Summer, so Jung going to get the night off.
Wow, that's very interesting. I mean, as a fan, you kind of were waiting all this time to see Jung. But Ding being there right now, it is definitely a new sight to have. But Ding as a player, he's brought so much for ROX, so it's not too surprising. I
mean, Ding is a fantastic racer in his own right. I don't want to diminish him at all. It's just that what Jung did in KDL Preseason 1 was historic. Yep. Which is a lot of the reason why we thought he would be coming out here. But you know, for ROX, you don't really want to rely on that just one ace. So they're going to let Ding come in here against Summer in a win or go home match. Let's see who's going to do it. ROX versus PO on Desert Construction Chaos.
This ace match between Summer and Ding is going to make it or break it. Summer trying to have his redemption after losing twice in a row in the previous ace matches.
And it would be so good for PO if Summer is able to come through with a win here against a pro team in ROX, a team that made it to the postseason last season in dominating fashion. As PO, the upstarts, they really want to get their name on the board right now, Peter. And Summer, he's off to a good start, going neck and neck here with Ding.
Yeah, and it seems like the boost gauge is slightly favoring Ding, but not by too much. So Summer, all he needs to do is time his draft well, and this is where, of course, the player's going to try to look for some of the body checks.
Yeah, body checks are critical here, as watching to see Ding try and zone out and prevent Summer from taking any of these better lines. And if he's actually able to get some collisions in, oh no, Summer actually clipping the corner as he's trying to close the distance as best he can. Almost out of draft range right now. It's a little concerning for him.
Oh, but that was a really clean pass through by Summer there. So that gives him some time to now catch up to the line of Ding. If you look at the boost gauge, Ding does have a bigger lead right now, potentially. Summer trying to do all he can to catch up.
I see Summer doing a little bit of cut trips there, trying to build up that nitro gauge as best he can. I feel like he knows that he's a little bit behind in that regard as Ding's mechanics are shining through, maybe 20 meters separating these racers now, as Summer on this straightaway going to try and close the distance coming into this turn, taking the tighter line, but Ding just continues to be ahead in nitrous. And I gotta say, the build that Ding is running right now, it is so clean.
Yeah, Ding has been just focusing on his own line for the most part because he wasn't being pressured by Summer at all once Summer made some crucial mistakes sacrificing his own line, but this may be the last chance for Summer to try to catch up here.
Yeah, and as they slow down a little bit, that's going to close the distance and allow Summer to get some drafts. So watch to see him make a play here. He's getting closer and closer to Ding. Ding will do his best to try and zone him out.
Yeah, now Ding, you can see him. He's still not disturbed in his build. Summer does manage to find the pass-through finally. Ding, he's going to recover right here. It's looking really close. Oh, Summer!
Big collision there. Ding zoning out Summer. Summer's going to clip the corner, and that might be the nail in the coffin here for PO, as Ding is going to ride that momentum to a victory here for ROX Esports. Going to the new player, the previous runner from Reboot, joining ROX now, delivering the victory for them here in the ace match as they continue to go undefeated. And I mean, for potential, it hurts that they've lost their third ace match in a row, especially here for summer. But man, these are against three very good teams. You know, from this point on, the hardest part of their schedule in this round robin format, it's over, right? It's only gonna get better from here. And the fact that they were able to go the distance in each one of these races against such good teams, it goes to show how skilled they really are.
Yeah, this is the new ROX we're seeing. It's no longer a strategy of having to rely on Jung to beat them in ace matches constantly. Now you have DDING here, a better item mode as a team overall, and I feel like ROX is going to look to try to continue that momentum, but as you said, State, on the other side, for Summer, it's his third loss in a row in the ace matches, and each time it was off of his own mistake. You know, when he was trying to catch up to his opponents, he always had to greet a little bit more, and it seems like that threw him off. Those corners are always catching him out, and at that point, it's really hard for him to try to recover.
Yeah, I mean, that's oftentimes the way it goes in ace matches, right? We're barely clipping two corners and losing just a little bit of momentum. Unless your opponent makes another mistake, how are you going to close the distance? And that's going to be ROX riding that to another victory, 3-1 in speed, losing 2-3 in item, and then DDING with that ace match victory, emerging victorious over Summer. Fantastic showing by ROX.
Yep, ROX is now 2-0 in their standings, so they are definitely going to have an easier time to try to make it to postseason off of this win. Meanwhile, Potential, they are going to solidify their third loss in the season now, and you have to wonder, can this team really still make it to postseason?
Well, with 4 matches left to be played, you got to think that they're going to do better against these amateur teams than the likes of ROX and Live Sandbox and Kwangdong Freaks, right? And especially with how good that they have been in item mode, beating all 3 of these teams in item mode, all 3 postseason teams, is just fantastic for them. So if they can shore up their speed mode a little bit here, especially against those amateur teams, and if they can get better, you know, in ace matches, I mean, Summer, he's been performing really well. We know that he is a great racer. He's very young. He's very skilled. Living up to his team name, he has a lot of potential, but you can feel the pressure really weighing on him in these big moments.
So basically, to explain what you said in simpler terms, they need to win every single match they have left available now. And even then, it's not a clear thing that they're moving on to the postseason.
I mean, not necessarily, right? I mean, they might be able to get away with winning 3 out of 4, depending on how the standings go. Yeah, especially considering they went to the ace match every single time, right? I mean, their round differential isn't as bad as it could be. A lot of these other amateur teams, keep in mind, have also been losing big to the pros.
But the top 4 teams right now, they have 0 losses, and I think that's where my worry came from. But as you said, the rookie teams, they've definitely shown a lot of potential so far, especially compared to the previous season where it felt like, you know, the giants that we keep mentioning, like Live Sandbox, Kwangdong Freaks, they were a world ahead of these rookie teams. But this season, it hasn't been the case, but it's always been that one tiny little 2% that's lacking that got them to lose either in the ace match or a bit earlier in the item match, and that's where the difference of these teams are really shining.
Yeah, it feels like they were very close every single time, all of their first 3 matches. And, you know, there's still a lot of KDL left to be played. This is only week 2, right? So I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. I think Potential, there is a chance for them to make it to the postseason if they continue to perform at the level that they're at right now, despite them being down 0-3.
I'm a little bit worried, though. That's why I keep thinking.
Of course.
I'm very worried right now because on one hand, you have such a good news that your team is able to push through all the way to the ace match against 3 professional teams, but 3 losses in ace matches, it has to be heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. But, I mean, that's why you play the games, right? And their schedule's only going to get easier from here.
Yep. We'll be back soon with ShowTime versus Sensation for our next match of the day, guys. So be sure to tune around, and we'll be here soon.
초반 스타트를 내줘도 오히려 뒤쪽에서 과감하게 승부를 걸 수 있다라는 장점이 있기 때문에
이렇게 순식간에 숨막히는 승부를 약간 흔들어 비는 월드.
라인이 없는 구간이었거든요. 저 구간이 최대한 탄력을 붙여야 되는. 근데 썸머가 회복이 나쁘지가 않아요.
그렇죠. 이 빌드를 타면 그다음부터 드랩거리로 접근할 수 있죠.
허전한데요, 썸머.
순식간에 왔습니다. 일단은
라인 좋았는데요.
아 좋았네. 여기가 한번 걸렸는데 이러면 월드 실수를 약간 바랄 수밖에 없는 상황인데.
네, 여기서 걸리지 않았으면 바로 이 구간에서 드리프트가 걸리면서 쫓아갈 수 있었을 텐데 지금은 뭡니다.
자 결국 월드 그대로 들어갈 수 있을 듯. 마지막에 피날레는 월드.
이 드리프트에서는 이 앞쪽 포지션에서 깜짝 스탑이 워낙 상대가 방심하는 틈에 들어갈 수 있는데 그러한 것들을 월드 선수가 잘 알고 있었고 그러니까 앞 포지션을 잡으면서 주도권을 가져가는 게 중요한 에이스 결정전이거든요. 정말 노련했어요. 그러면서 전승 행진을 이어나갑니다. 한 명 한 명 오히려 지금 공략을 당해버리면서 점점 뒤처지고 있기 때문에 스펠과의 거리 차이가 좀 많이 나기 시작했어요. 그리고 띵이 올라가고 있습니다.
그래도 방금 전에 띵이 부스터 발동시킬 때 몬스터가 몸으로 막아주는 부분은 굉장히 좋았습니다만 혼자서는 2명, 3명 못 막죠.
상당히 그렇습니다. 이번엔 띵이 다른 역할들을 좀 해주고 있는 상황에서 스펠과 쫑이 올라가고 있어요. 또 이렇게.
야, 순간적으로 가속받았을 때 앞 포지션 잡고 그 다음에 뒤쪽을 한 번 더 막아주면 안 된다 싶으니까 다시 한번 몬스터 쪽으로 바라보는 띵이거든요.
그리고 쫑은 스펠의 주행을 방해하지 않으면서 적성거리를 유지하고 있는데 이거 두치가 이런 식으로 막아주면 앞쪽이 뚫리더라도 뒤쪽에서 순위가 다져지지를 못하겠네요.
야, 벌크업된 광산 수레를 정말 기가 막히게 활용을 하고 있습니다. 그 사이에 스펠은 1위 유지합니다. 이렇게 달릴 줄 아는 선수의 스펠도.
이게 포지셔닝이 한번 되고 나니까요. 1대1 싸움은 거의 무조건 가져가고요. 뭐 1대2 싸움도 버티고 있다 보니까 원투가 잡히지 않고 또 공략당했어요.
날아갑니다.
퍼펙트 포지션.
띵도 살짝 걸리긴 했었는데 그 전까지의 과정이 너무 좋았습니다.
그냥 쭉쭉 가자 스펠 띵 조제까지.
두치가 또 막아냈어요.
광산수의 역할들을 좀 다르게 봐야겠네요. 그 역할을 두치가 해줬고 결국 이렇게 원투 쓰리포 완벽한 포지션 싹.
두찌가 포지션 변경 이후에 가장 완벽하게 블로킹, 스위핑을 해낸 경기라고 볼 수가 있겠고 중간중간에 띵을 플레이해서 위험 구간에서 속도를 줄여주면서 상대방에게 역전을 당하더라도 그 다음 공격 타이밍을 노리는 장면도 수도 없이 나왔거든요. 단순히 잘 달리는 선수뿐만 아니라 정말 상황에 따라서 민첩하게 반응할 줄 아는 선수라는 생각이 듭니다.
김현 선수가 조금 거리가 좀 많이 나는 상황이기 때문에 좀 더 빠르게 합류해줘야 될 것 같아요. 너무 뒤에 있다 보니까 불편만 나오거든요.
이거 막아내면서 갑니다.
네. 물거리가 아직까지는 약간 애매한 상황이기는 한데 그래도 이런 식으로 되면 물거리까지는 왔거든요.
지금 넣기에는 그렇죠. 올라갈 때구나. 근데 너무 빨리 합류해버려서 이러면 그냥 물 버리는 게 낫지 않나 싶어요.
또 돌아왔어요 띵.
이거 락스가 앞쪽으로 가더라도 우주선이 바로 들어갈 수 있겠고
이거 물풍선 저거 왜 이래요? 왜 이렇게 많아요?
페이지가 지금 같은 팀원에 도움을 받기가 어려운 상황이 됐거든요.
아니 갑자기 뭐 버블 파이터예요?
자,
안 어떻게 된 거예요 지금?
그냥 띵이
아래쪽으로 다
쪽에
떨어졌죠.
부스터.
다쳤어요 이번에 좀.
자, 아이템이 들어올게.
맞으면서 완전 백인데 조치가 들어갑니다.
와 핑크로 돌면서 미사일 맞으면서 떨어졌는데 하필이면 그 자리에 바리케이드가 있는 바람에 백스핀 돌았죠.
야, 이거 마지막 양상이 너무 다른데요.
예.
진짜.
이거 멀미하겠네요. 돌다 보니까 완전 맷바퀴 돈 거예요 지금.
그래도 호준이 휘말리지 않을까 싶었었는데 정말 차체를 빠르게 잡았습니다.
민식이 굉장히 공격적으로 들어갔었는데 방금 전에 히어로가 조금 한 발 앞서서 앞쪽으로 차체 안 뺐으면 큰일 날 수도 있었습니다.
또 과감하게 계속 지금 가죠. 왜냐면 오늘 자신이 있거든요.
히어로가 오늘 완전히 풀린 몸 상태를
네.
보여주는데 호준이 아직까지 안 내주는 가운데 민식 합류 중.
여기를 달리고 있을 때 선수들의 심리는 뒤에 따라온 다른 선수들을 조비대로 인식을 해야 됩니다. 잘못해가지고 걸어가다가 물리면 진짜 죽는다고 생각을 해야
그리고
되거든요.
나왔는데 어려운 거에서 히어로 선수가 쇼커팅을 진짜 기가 막히게 넣어주면서 빌드를 만들어가거든요. 그러니까 그만큼 본인 컨트롤에 진짜 자신이 있는 것 같아요.
그래서 이렇게 근데 호준이 노련함으로 막습니다.
이거 맨 마지막에 점프대 구간에
이거
이거 재밌겠네요.
돌았죠. 히어로 또 완전 돌았어요.
야, 호준 깜짝 놀라서 사실 호준 크게 휘말린 게 아니었었는데 순위 많이 밀렸습니다. 이거 민식 드랩
들어왔습니다. 히어로가
22등.
그러면 호주는 2위를 기록할 수도 있는 상황에서 지금 5위까지 밀린 거니까 속금 쓰리죠.
그리고 말씀드렸었던 히어로는요. 그러니까 본인 컨트롤에 자신이 있는 것 같아요. 그렇기 때문에 이런 정말 호준이 라인 블로킹 계속 해주면서 뚫기 어려운 상황 속에서 직구 스핀톤으로 거기서 그냥 순위를 뚫어내다 보니까 그 경험 많은 호준 입장에서도 어쩔 수 없었습니다.
현재까지는 드래프트를 못 받는 거리지만 드래프트 받을 수 있는 거리까지 왔을 때 닐만이 자랑하는 사각에서 갑자기 튀어나오면서 상대방이 예상하지 못한 라인으로 진입하는 그런 모습이 나올 수도
여기
있거든요.
직선 구간에서 아마 드래그랑 타이 좀 잡아내면서 빠르게 좀 부스터까지 가지 않을까 싶거든요. 그러면 잔디 구간에서는 필연적으로 붙어요.
자, 거의 다 왔습니다. 힐이 이렇게 자연스럽게 붙어버렸습니다.
점프하는 직선 구간에서 드랩을 받기 위해서 약간 조절을 했던 닐인데 일단 그래도 붙는 데까지는
닐이가
성공하죠.
좀 갈렸어요. 이러면은 닐이 좀 과감하게 한번 가볼 수 있나요?
자, 부스 하나 더 갖고 있는 상황에서 닐의 환경은 뚫어내는 환경이게.
이거 스탑할까봐 살짝 눈치 본 것 같아요, 서로.
그래도 닐이 약간 부스터가 더 유리한 건 변함이 없어요. 맨 마지막에 호준이 긁기라도 하면 굉장히 큰일 수 있습니다.
아주 과감한 직구 한번 가볼 수도 있겠고요. 근데 이거
어떻게?
스탑하면은 모르거든요.
호준이 어떤 타이밍 지금 일단 부서 약간 다른데 여기서
근데
부서
이 라이브 로킥 좀 크게 들어갔어요.
저쪽 호준이
자, 이거 왼쪽으로 한번 꺾고 오른쪽으로 꺾었을 때
오메입니다.
그래도
라이브 로킥 한번 더.
그런데 닐이 끌어요.
더 막아야 될 것 같은데요.
막아야죠.
몸싸움 그리고 마지막에 닐입니다.
호준이 뺐다가 그 다음에 드래프트를 발동시키는 것이 아니라 블로킹하는 선택을 했는데 닐이 끝까지 코스가 길다는 걸 파악하고 있었어요.
마지막 직선 구간에서의 닐이 정말 심리전 싸움에서 이겼다 이렇게 말씀드릴 수가 있겠고 1분 30초를 끌려갔습니다. 그런데 그 마지막 한 번의 기가 막힌 타이밍을 잡아냈어요.
Welcome back to the KDL, everybody. We just wrapped up Seongnam ROX versus Potential. Now it's time to go into ShowTime versus Sensation. I am staying with me is Peter. Excited to go into our next match.
Yeah, ShowTime is going to be having a difficult matchup today against Sensation. You know, despite Sensation being a team with only 0 wins, I feel like they're still very formidable so far as we see the members of ShowTime walking onto the stage.
Yeah, Sensation, although ShowTime, excuse me, they haven't really been able to get on that board just yet. I mean, they have 2 losses so far. Their round differential is -6. This is a team that, you know, a lot of people coming into this season had high hopes for, you know, coming through with some upsets, but as of yet, not really able to pull it out. Whereas, you know, Sensation, they also aren't having the best start, but keep in mind, this is a team with the Emperor, right? They might be amateurs technically, but I feel like that's only in name only as Sensation. I would love to see him make the playoffs right now. You see him walking out on the stage, all smiles.
They're coming out in a train formation. This team, they definitely have a lot of confidence. I think for any team to field a 4-man roster, it definitely takes confidence in your players because you're going to have the same set of players playing in both speed and item. And so far, we've seen success of that happening with Guangdong Freaks. And honestly, I feel like Sensation might catch up to that success. They need to start here, however.
Yeah, a little bit of a roster shakeup there for Sensation as well as, you know, Speed switched teams. He's now on Live Sandbox to change his ID, and Sensation now adding Joker to their roster. They'll be trying to fill that out, and they're up against these amateurs today. ShowTime, ST, having completed their Ace Match debut, now heading step by step towards their first victory.
Yep, both teams are looking for it, but ShowTime especially more so in the sense that they're sitting at 2 losses right now. If they lose today, they'd be down 0-3 along with Potential. And if they want to emerge as a better rookie team, they need to start adding some of the wins that really count. However, their team average rank in speed, it is not looking too good.
Yeah, it has a bit to be desired. As SST, ST, the team names are confusing. What are we supposed to do in game? We were talking about this before we went live today. The initialisms for these teams are, they can be tough, ST versus SST, but hey, you know, it's a round robin. Only got to do it once.
Yep, this is the only time we'll see it unless both teams move on to postseason. On the other side, it is the players of Sensation. I think every single player here is well known by the fans coming in from the Kart Rider League because they had such a phenomenal history so far, especially in players like Hojun, the Emperor.
Yeah, showcasing extraordinary gameplay, even in matches where they have lost. Will their win streak begin here? I think it might, because, you know, Sensation, team with a lot of experience despite being an amateur team. HyunSu, the emperor, the god of the original kart rider, coming through, leading this team as the speed ace.
Interesting there.
ST versus SST is the blurb we get for this team, as both of them having fun with their similar initialisms. But yeah, definitely favoring Sensation for me here. I mean, they are confident enough to run with a 4-man squad. I think that says a lot. And also, I mean, just the veteran leadership of HyunSu at the top of the ranks it means so much.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Sensation being on a loss streak, but they only lost once, so I'm sure they're not too concerned about that as we take a look at the speed track list. Of course, for Zigzag Timberland, not too surprising to see one of our veteran teams wanting to pick that up for round number 1. Also, speed priority there by Sensation.
Yeah, Boom Hill Tunnel will be track number 2, Terracotta Twister track number 3, and should we go to round 4 and round 5, those will be played on World Tour New York Rally and Desert Construction Chaos. So Sensation definitely picking the more difficult tracks here. Zigzag Timberland and Terracotta Twister, their first 2 picks, and Construction Chaos, their 3rd pick there in round number 5. Definitely feel like they want to flex their skills in speed over this rookie team.
It's interesting that both WKC tracks got banned out by Sensation there, because I know their players have practiced on that track quite a lot. So I don't think it's a lack of confidence. It's probably more like we don't want our amateur opponent to have these rather easier tracks where the fields are wide.
Yeah, we definitely see a little bit of a meta there, especially between these veteran teams and these rookie teams in terms of how maps are drafted. And we'll see how it plays out here as we're getting ready to start with this series. ShowTime versus Sensation on Forest Zigzag Timberland.
Off we go into our first speed round between Sensation and ShowTime. We have Feiz and Ghost having a pretty nice position for ShowTime.
Yeah, I like that start from them. Some really good collisions early on, able to work their way into the front of the pack, but HyunSu and Percent fighting back, especially now with Guard coming up the rear, actually working his way all the way up into 2nd place as the sweeping is starting to come through. Feiz and Ghost feel like they're getting boxed in a little bit behind the top 2 here for Sensation.
I feel like the form of HyunSu is absolutely on point this season, and he's showing that off right now. First place with a humongous lead, and there's Guard in 2nd place, Percent, Joker in 4-6. It's looking really good for Sensation.
Yeah, but a lot of that lead also comes down to the fantastic sweeping we saw earlier on from those middle-ranked players here on Team Sensation. As Ghost and Monster, they have to really fight to try and close the distance. You just see Percent and Joker, they keep coming in, they keep making these collisions. See Joker go for a really tight line, was trying to catch Flare there, wasn't quite able to get him. As now Ghost working his way up into the top 3, and Percent now zoning him out. Look at these body blocks. Yeah,
Ghost does manage to pass finally, but he's still far behind Guard, and even Guard can play sweeper roll, and then it'll be Percent's turn to go in for that 1-2. So Sensation with the ironclad control coming into our 2nd lap.
Yeah, Sensation just showing a lot of skill here on Zigzag Timberlands as more sweeping coming through. Percent, you can see him just getting ready to try and sideswipe these guys. Joker as well. As a 1-2 finish is a guaranteed win here for Sensation if they can hold on to it. Watch us see Joker try and make a play.
Yeah, Joker going in for the lines, completely tackling and causing chaos in the lines of ShowTime.
Just like a pinball machine, man, just keeps bouncing off ShowTime player after player after player. And look at the gap now between HyunSu and Guard and the remaining players here for ShowTime. This all comes down to Joker. His body blocking has been superb.
Yeah, now for Ghost and Flare to try to catch up, but it's not going to be enough. You see HyunSu and Guard with a huge lead, and that's not going to get caught up to any time soon.
Yeah, now Joker and Percent are just going to try and build that nitro gauge as best they can, as a lot of their work here is done. Joker, we'll see if he can get a little bit more, a couple more swipes in here on Ghost and Flare, but man, these guys really have to play catch up right now. Only 500 meters left to go.
Guard and HyunSu is looking to take this one home for Sensation as they are left unchecked, coming in for a 1-2 punch.
Man, you can see the camera, the picture-in-picture there in the bottom left. HyunSu so pumped with that win. Everything just went according to plan there. I mean, Guard and HyunSu, they ran away with that thing from the very beginning, and the sweeping there from the middle players on this team, just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, Percent and Joker just really playing out of their minds. A really solid team effort, top to bottom.
Yeah, and I love the playstyle difference of Hojin coming into preseason 2. I feel like a lot of the focus on Hojin is now about maintaining his own build and focusing on just basically outrunning his opponents.
Yeah, and on the collisions there, we got a brief look at it. Every single player on ShowTime had at least 7 collisions. Half of them had 10. That is so much momentum getting sapped away by the sweeping of these middle-ranked players here on Team Sensation as they are coming out swinging here in speed mode. And Peter, I loved what you said about Hojin's form right now as we see him just continue to run away with this. It just looks so good. He is so fast. We saw in the ace match against Neil. It's just unbelievable what this guy's able to do.
Yeah, this is Joker right here getting some highlight himself. He was constantly there tackling Monster, you know, checking Flare. I feel like just the fact that you have a Racer next to you, it definitely puts pressure on you. It makes you want to take these different builds that you wouldn't have otherwise, which creates mistakes.
Especially on a narrow track such as Zigzag Timberland, right? With so many sweeping turns, there's a lot of room for you to make body blocks and cause trouble for the opposing team. That's what Sensation did to perfection there in track number 1. Let's see if they can keep that up here as we get ready to go to track number 2, Village Boom Hill Tunnel. And off we go on Boom Hill Tunnel. Sensation looks to keep the momentum going here. Percent and Guard off to a fantastic start here in top 3. Joker on the outside, shoring that up, man. Looking really good.
Sensation repeating strategy they did on the Zigzag Timberland, and this is a much wider track, but it doesn't seem to really hold him back. Now Flare and Ghost, they're the only hopes for ShowTime right now. Feiz and Monster back so far.
Yeah, Feiz and Monster have to play a little bit of catch-up here and potentially draft off of each other to close the distance as we have a 3 versus 2 here in the upper ranks. Joker also coming in with the rear. We'll try to cause some problems. And Guard, oh my goodness, the sweeping is so good right now. Just zoning out Ghost, trying to give Hojin some more breathing room. As this, oh my god, look at these attacks! Look at the momentum here for ShowTime just getting absolutely stolen.
Yeah, it's like a protect the president right now. Everyone on President Hojin. Ghost is looking for the build along with Flare. And another member of ShowTime. This may give them what they want, but not quite enough.
Yeah, that build did help them close the distance a little bit here, but now it's Guard and Hojin drafting off of each other, doing the best that they can to just compound on this lead. And keep in mind, this is a 1-lapper. There isn't too much track left to be played. 300 meters away. Sensation, Hojin, and Guard just running away with this thing, and an easy 1-2 finish for Sensation. I mean, the body blocking, the sweeping coming out of Sensation is something we haven't really seen at this level from this team in KDL Preseason 1, but we're definitely seeing it now in Preseason 2.
This is such a great way for Sensation to come back here in Preseason 2, because in their first match against Live Sandbox, they did get 0-3'd in speed, but now it's them who is up 2-0, looking to secure one more win to have a clean sweep in speed here. And I must say, if we see Sensation go to item with the win and speed in their pockets, it may be hard for ShowTime to force an ace match.
Yeah, and Guard's sweeping is just out of this world right now, really carrying a lot of the weight for this team, whereas Hojin just runs away with it, man. You give him an inch, he takes a mile. It feels like both on track number 1 and track number 2. I mean, as soon as he broke away from the pack, there was nothing catching up with him. His builds are impeccable. And now the pressure is on here for Team ShowTime, who, as of yet, I mean, they're down 0-2 overall in the standings. They are yet to pick up a win. They're second to last and round differential as well. They got to get the ball going sometime soon, but Sensation just looking so good right now, looking to complete the 3-0 sweep here in speed mode as we go to another difficult track. It will be World Tour Terracotta Twister.
Sensation looking to close it out on this match point here and the track choice of their own. As we see Guard actually leading the pack this time. Hojin is pretty far behind. This may be what ShowTime needs to try to do a comeback.
Yeah, as far as starts go, having Hojin a little bit under control is the best you could hope for here for ShowTime, but just watch him try to find these inner lines to work his way back in as the Emperor is hungry for another crown here. Gari doing his best to lead the pack, try and slow ShowTime down as best he can, but Feiz coming into this tomb section is able to get the better of him.
But Hojun is catching up right now. He's like a hawk looking for his next meal. As Hojun, he's able to take first, and the members of ShowTime are in disarray.
Yeah, but Guard there with an uncharacteristic misstep got clipped against the wall. That's going to have him fall all the way down into 7th place. And now for Sensation, it's Hojun all by his lonesome here. And first is Percent now. He's going to try and close the distance and lend some support to the speed ace of Sensation.
It's still a massive position advantage of Sensation overall as a team. Even if Ghost takes first place, it's not enough right now because you see Flare and Monster. These two have constantly been in the bottom 2 for ShowTime so far. So Ghost, he needs to build pressure on Hojun and try to make Percent do a mistake like that.
Yeah, and somehow Guard, despite that big hiccup there in the inner tomb area, is able to work his way all the way back into 5th place. So the skill really shining through here for Sensation is now Percent trying to do a little bit of body blocking coming back into the tomb. We'll see if there are any more missteps for these plays. Ghost has to make something happen here. Feiz, a little bit greedy there with his build. Does collide with a wall, and now it's 4 out of 5 players for Sensation dominating the ranks.
We see Feiz, he's racing across to try to surpass Joker, but it's not going to be enough whatsoever. Ghost is alone in 2nd place as we see Hojun. It doesn't even matter anymore. 2, 3, 4 is still a win condition for Sensation.
Yeah, Sensation just playing that fantastically, and man, credit where credit is due. I thought Guard was going to be out of that race after he clipped that wall on lap number 1, but he worked his way all the way back to lead the pack there for Sensation, finished 2nd overall as they secure the 2-3-4 win, and one of the most one-sided sweeps I've seen in speed mode so far in Preseason 2.
And what an ideal birthday gift to Hojun, as we saw the fans saying happy birthday to Hojun there.
Oh, is it his birthday?
Not exactly today, it was yesterday, but close enough, right?
It's his birthday somewhere in the world.
Yeah, maybe in America.
Yeah.
Because the time is different.
For the forward fans watching, it's Hojun's birthday there, so make sure to wish him well. As Sensation can be really happy with that 3-0 win in speed mode, just looking so solid, man. I love the sweeping that we saw to them in track number 1 and track number 2. And in track number 3, I feel like we didn't see too much of that body blocking, of them creating problems. It was really just raw mechanical skill going through the best possible builds. We did even have that one hang up there by Guard, but still able to close the distance. Just goes to show, I mean, the skill on this team is just impeccable.
Yeah, so far in KDL, it feels like a lot of the teams, they were having a lot of hiccups, even against rookie teams, having to go all the way to ace matches. But on the other hand, Sensation here, looking to secure their first victory today, but they're also looking really dominant while doing it. It almost makes you feel like ShowTime has almost no chance against the current form of Sensation because everyone is playing their role to the T. Hojun playing that runner role, even when he starts in 5th, 6th, he manages to get to that first place. And you saw Guard, as you said, even if he makes a big mistake, he just manages to catch back up.
And Percent as well, just doing so good sweeping. But if ShowTime is going to mount a comeback, it's going to be here in item mode. As we look at the item track list here for match number 9, we will be starting out on World Tour London Night, followed by Glacier Shark's Wake. Okay, we get to see it again. Magma Cavern 2, it's another map that I like a lot. And should we go to a track 4, track 5, we will see Cartwheel Crush and Pharaoh's Pass.
I feel like the key of this matchup is going to be all in that round number 1 because it was ShowTime who was able to pick their track in World Tour London Night. And as we saw earlier, this track comes with a lot of volatility. As long as you time your offensive items right, you can absolutely take all momentum there. And if we see ShowTime lose in that track of their choice, it may be Sensation with another clean sweep.
Yeah, it really does feel like the track that has the most wombo combo potential there right at the finish line. Right when you come through that Ferris wheel, there's so much room, for an attack, and we'll see how it plays out as we're getting ready to go into item mode. Sensation versus ShowTime on World Tour London Night.
We begin our item round 1. Let's see if ShowTime can put a point up on the board here in London Night.
Would love to see it. Would love to get another ace match, especially considering how good Hojun looked against Neil. And one of the best ace matches that I've seen earlier here in KDL Preseason 2.
Absolutely.
Absolutely fantastic racing by him, losing that one by a hair. But, you know, Sensation, it just feels like so far today, they are really on point.
Yep, and we're seeing that reiteration right here with Percent trying to take a huge lead for himself. We did see it almost paying off for Temin earlier today in the matches. Sensation, they do have a pretty nice team position as well.
Yeah, good position, but keep in mind, this is only lap number 1. There's a lot of track left to be played, and on a wide one like this, it's actually, I was about to say, it's really hard to land these water bombs. Hojin actually drove right into one straight down the middle there, as he's going to fall all the way down to 8th place. Now it is Percent, Monster, Guard, and Joker here in top 4. Thrawn right behind him.
Joker putting a lot of emphasis on sweeping today here, even in the item mode. Now he's just going to be able to speed up to try to take the lead, but he's going to get caught out by the water bomb. Now it's Thrawn with the lightning there, and there's no Angel on the board for Sensation. It's 2 lightnings in total for the team Showtime. This could get scary.
Yeah, Hojin with 2 shields decides not to rotate those out, interestingly, here on lap number 2, as he wants to work his way all the way into first place. He's going to rely on his teammates to connect with some attacks here. It's actually Percent. It seemed like he tried to body block Flare into that water bomb. Wasn't able to manifest it, though.
You can see right now that the strategy is all inning for Showtime on those double lightnings they're holding. There's only 2 shields on the side of Sensation. No Angel whatsoever as we approach the final lap. I feel like if there's no Angel being picked up by Sensation, it could look really rough on them.
Yeah, as we see those lightnings now coming in, Hojin does get slowed down. He's going to fall all the way to 8th place, not even able to make his way up the ramp there. He didn't have enough speed, and now it's up for these players at the top of the track. Feiz right now in first place. Braun actually does pass him, but the magnet getting popped. It's actually Flare and Joker. Wait, no, Joker out of nowhere with the magnet. Able to come through for Sensation. Oh my goodness, Joker, where did you come from, man? Stealing victory for the jaws of defeat, as it felt like Showtime had that one in the bag, but Joker living up to his name, man. He's a wild card coming through there at the finish.
As you said, Showtime did everything right. They chained their double lightnings near the edge of that 3rd lap, and then they even used the magnet on each other to try to boost into the finish line, with the player in the front using a booster as well. But somehow it's Joker who comes in out of nowhere, speeding in like a bolt of lightning. And with Sensation taking round 1, it is looking really concerning for me right now if you're a fan of Showtime.
Yeah, very well played there by Sensation. I guess all the attacks, for Showtime. You know, one of them popped on Hojin. I'm not sure exactly who got the 2nd lightning bolt, but there's a lot of damage coming in. Joker, unfazed with that magnet in the bag, was able to just barely thread the needle and secure that win. As if you're a Showtime fan watching from home, I feel for you, because Sensation seems like they're on another level tonight. All smiles as well, looking to secure this win here in item mode.
We've seen that domination replicated only by Aura so far in Preseason 2, and if we see another 6-0 happen here today from Sensation, it may be the momentum the team needs, because right now in 4th place, Seongnam, ROX, Live Sandbox, Swanglo Freaks, Aura, all of them have 2 wins and 0 losses. If Sensation were to lose today, it would be really, really drastically bad.
It would be for Sensation, but they're looking very good right now. Only 2 tracks wins away from securing a 2-0 win. Let's see if they can keep the momentum going as we move on to round number 2, Glacier Shark's Wake. And if Showtime is going to mount a comeback, it's going to have to start now. It feels like time is running out for them here in item mode. Already down 1-0 against Sensation after dropping speed.
Oh. Cute little mistake there by Hojin, but maybe not. You know, you never know. He could have won double items by being spawned back in the map.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's hard to read exactly what the plan is for these racers here in item mode, as that could be just Hojin wanting to fall all the way to the bottom ranks, increase the propagation of some of these attacks, and, you know, support the team that way. It's like a chess match playing item mode, and it's hard to follow sometimes exactly what the strategies can be.
But we do see the strategy right now for Joker. It's all about absorbing aggro for Sensation. You know, Showtime, they don't have too many offensive items. They did now manage to pick up a couple of them. We'll see if they use them on Joker here.
Yeah, Water Wisp there for Flare, as he actually missed picking up another item. A little bit of a hiccup as Joker is going to cycle through all of those shields, deflect these attacks, does pick up another Water Wisp, so hopefully we'll be able to do some counter damage here should Braun and Flare pass him. And Hojin, despite that Hurley misstep falling off, all the way in first place now with a shield and a magnet.
Yep, the magnet is going to be especially helpful in case he does fall behind too. You have to contest spot 1 again, as we see Flare. He's coming up right now to flank Hojin. Hojin was targeted by the UFO, but it wasn't enough. He's still maintaining first.
Yeah, a lot of rockets too here for Showtime. I think they have 2 right behind Hojin, so expect a lot more attacks to come in on him. As yes, he does pop 1 more shield to deflect the missile. Does not have another one to get this, though, as Hojin just keeps picking up these shields, but the missiles also just keep coming as Monster gets another one.
Yep, I like the dodge on the water bomb there by Monster and Feiz. However, they are in 2-3 right now. Feiz holding on to a double magnet here. He's gonna look to use that on HyunSu.
Oh, he's not even gonna cycle any of them out. So yeah, he's gonna go for the double magnet. Gonna be probably the guy to try and cross the finish line here for a ShowTime. It's getting closer and closer. Hojin also does have a magnet in his bag. There is an EMP for Flare as well, as Agent Shield does get popped, but no, it's gonna be Monster really with no contention. Just crossing the finish line there as ShowTime gonna tie things up here in item mode 1-1.
Yep, the barricade was the hope for Sensation there. However, the shield came out expertly from Monster. And at that point, there was no stop to his momentum as we're now, I must say, this is going a lot closer than I expected for item mode. I was sure that ShowTime was done for if they lost round 1, but if they win round 2, which Sensation chose for the track, it may not be over and we may have an ace match.
Yeah, both teams winning on their opponent's pick is kind of an interesting way for item mode to develop here as we're getting ready to go into track number 3 shortly. And both these teams now 2 round wins away from deciding exactly our fate. Of course, Sensation having won speed mode already, should they win 2 more tracks, will secure a victory here. Whereas if you're ShowTime, you're fighting to go into an ace match potentially against the Emperor himself, Hojin, who seems like he's in such good form right now. It's a daunting prospect for this rookie team.
Yeah, it's like climbing a mountain after another mountain, but that's what it takes to go up against the talent in KDL, especially now being in Preseason 2, where players have had more time to adapt to this new game in Kart Rider Drift.
Now you can feel the talent developing here across the board as players just keep getting better and better, and we'll see what they're able to show off here as we get ready to go to round number 3. It's going to be my Magma Cavern.
Off we go into round number 3. We are tied 1-1 right now between ShowTime and Sensation. It's going to be a 3-lapper track.
Yeah, a really fun one too. I think Magma Cavern, at least for me, this is my favorite visually map that we have right now in the item mode pool. It's so cool, all this lava flowing, very dangerous, a lot of areas you can fall off as well. As a result of that, water bombs very deadly here because you don't want to hang too tight on the edge. Because you don't want to risk falling into the lava, right? You don't want to have to come back onto the field all the way back in 8th place. And a lot of plays can be made. We'll see exactly how both teams decide to use the terrain to their advantage. Is this place right here, especially on this ramp, as a water bomb just pops, can be so pivotal in deciding right before the finish line who's going to be able to cross should those attacks come through.
I love that point you make, State. I'm sure we'll see that on 3rd lap especially, but right now it's Percent in the lead for Sensation. He's holding on to a shield as well as a lightning. I do love that lightning choice as well.
Yeah, lightning's always solid. It's one of the better items that we have here in item mode. A very, potent attack these players have at their disposal as Monster can throw that waterproof balloon. Will be able to catch guard. Fron spinning out here as the attacks just continue to come through relentlessly on both sides.
Yep. We see even Hojin taking a spin there from the missile. Now it's Feiz and Percent fighting for that leading spot for their teams. Now we are in the 3rd lap. As we take a look at the item inventory, there's a lightning for Percent as well as Hojin, while ShowTime has no lightning at all, and that can really make a difference in momentum.
Yeah, not too many nitrous or magnets on the field already. It's just mostly attack. So look to see these players try to hold on. And, this is exactly what I talked about, man. You can't turn when you get hit by a missile like that. So that's going to be Percent falling all the way back into the bottom as now Flare and Feiz in 1st and 2nd place, each with a shield as well, in a commanding position here, 500 meters from the finish line.
We have 1, 2, 3 being held by ShowTime currently. The lightning is going to be used, however, by Sensation. Guard and Hojin looking to pass Feiz with an excellent shield. Guard, he's blocked out right now by Feiz, but Hojin!
What an insane play! Guard with a magnet was able to sap away enough momentum from Feiz that Hojin, with no items of his own on the outside, was able to, by an inch, pass Feiz and take that victory. What a cool play there from Sensation. I thought that ShowTime had it in the bag with 3 players leading the pack, heading right through that straightaway ramp towards the finish line, but it's going to be Hojin by literally less than a 1/10 of a second getting the victory.
That was super clutch from Guard. He literally went up right to his back as if he was piggybacking there. And as you said, utilizing that magnet in combo with Hojin, just looking for that first place finish, was the game-winning strategy coming in from Sensation. And I must say, it's really hard in such a tense moment when you're literally about 50 meters away from the finish line to be able to pull something off like that with your teammate. So this shows the form of Sensation.
Yeah, we get a recap of this right now. Look at this replay here as Guard pops that magnet. And if he didn't do this, Feiz would have had enough speed to pass Hojin. Keep in mind, it was half of a 1/10 of a second separating Hojin in first from his opponent in second. So that magnet just giving enough oomph for Hojin to pass. You can see them laughing. They know they got away with something dirty on that one, as that was a sneaky play. But man, I love what we're seeing out of Sensation.
Absolutely, but now we are ready for track number 4. It is chosen by Sensation themselves in Factory Cocktail Crush.
Match point here for Sensation, up 2-1 in this best of 5. Just one track win away from securing the 2-0 sweep.
And right now we're seeing Percent leading the pack with an EMP in his pocket. Joker and Hojin also coming up, but we're not surprised to see Joker fall back down because he wants to utilize that missile.
He wants to come through with a lot more attacks and support his teammates that way, as Hojin and Percent, players here for Sensation, that are trying their best to run away with this one. As a lot of water rush coming out. Hojin actually with a shield able to deflect that one. So another one, if I'm not mistaken. So able to absorb a lot of aggro here is Hojin.
Speaking of aggro, that missile is going to go wild because of the shield. And now, a nice catch there onto the members of ShowTime. It's going to set them back and buy more time for Hojin to keep up his lead. Feiz, of course, trying to now do some catch-up.
More attacks coming in for the ShowTime players, and actually able to catch the shortcut is Hojin and Guard. Nobody from ShowTime was able to make it in, so now there's a lot of distance here between first and second place for Sensation, and a water bomb as well. So all this momentum getting sapped. We're gonna have to see more UFOs get popped as Hojin and Guard. Those UFOs do slow them down enough for Feiz to close the distance, but that was a lot of expensive items that ShowTime had to cycle through to be able to, dampen this lead.
Yeah, there's no worse feeling than when you use a magnet to play catch-up, but you get caught off guard in the middle of it. And as you said, they're just spinning out of control right now, the players of ShowTime. They're not able to recover with Guard blocking out front. Once again, spinning. Hojin has such a magnificent lead.
Yeah, looking at the mini-map right now, Hojin is really far ahead, maybe 100 meters even, away from Monsters. We'll see if more attacks can come through here. Yep, Water Wisp there on Monster, but he gets instantly boosted by his teammate. So he will regain some of that momentum as more water bombs are coming out. Angel Shield does get popped. Getting ready to go down and closer to the finish line. Hojin slowing down.
Whoa, he gets it!
Again, and nobody from ShowTime can do it!
Oh man, Hojin has such a huge lead right now that at this point, even if he got targeted by a magnet, there is absolutely no chance. Hojin, he has double shield there to help him stroll into the finish line.
Oh, that is so sick there for Hojin. 2 laps, he gets the speed boost shortcut on both of them. And Hojin by a mile with 2 shields in his pocket, able to deliver the win for Sensation, securing the item round win and the 2-0 victory here over ShowTime.
We didn't see a 6-0 happening from Sensation today, but a 6-1 nonetheless, and it felt super one-sided, I must say. The form of Hojin is absolutely on point, and I feel like even if we did go to an ace match, it would be really hard to beat Hojin right now, and I'm really happy for it because in Preseason 1, we saw him struggling to adapt to the new meta in Kart Rider Drift, but so far in Preseason 2, he is absolutely shining.
Yeah, it was a bit of an adjustment period there for Hojin in KDL Preseason 1, as he perhaps didn't live up to the expectations of a lot of fans who would love to see him succeed here in KDL, but so far, I mean, Sensation, they played 2 series already, and although they were 1-1, they're not 2-0. Hojin is just looking so good, especially the sweeping here for Sensation today impressed me so much, in particular by Guard and Percent. Just really great stuff, fantastic synergy, brilliant teamwork. I'm loving what we're seeing out of this 4-man roster.
Yep, and despite not having an item ace, they were able to pick up a win in item set 3-1. Very, I would say, clean overall despite that one loss. I feel like Sensation at their current form might be even better than the likes of Guangdong Freaks and Live Sandbox, just in terms of how well they're playing as a team.
Really? That's a bold statement there, but I mean, you might be right. We'll have to see those teams face off later on in this season. The Sensation is certainly looking to be much stronger than they were in KDL Preseason 1.
Yep, but unfortunately they are in 5th place in the standings due to that one loss. And this is where we talked about it really mattering as we move on to the postseason that you are not losing a single match when you have 4 teams with 0 losses.
Yeah, and also keep in mind the round differential here for Sensation. Although they are 1-1 and not 2-0, they have a better round differential than Live Sandbox or Guangdong Freaks, who played very close series. So there is potential there for Sensation. You know, oftentimes that round differential is the decider on whether a team is able to make it to the postseason or not. And the way that things have been going for them so far, if Hojin's able to keep this momentum, if he's able to deliver in the ace matches, and they're able to synergize as well as they're doing in speed, they might be heading there.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And again, unfortunately, no amateur rookie teams were able to pick up a win today. And I feel like that's also very unfortunate because I feel like these players coming into KDL Preseason 2, they have shown absolutely the top of their form, I feel like. I can't really say it's their own fault, like, oh, they were making mistakes here and they were just not as good. It felt like everyone was good, but these teams, the better veterans, were just even better.
Yeah, potential in particular, it hurts for them. 3 ace matches in a row against the 3 pro teams here in KDL Preseason 2, and you're not able to come away with a win is a painful one. As it feels like compared to KDL Preseason 1, the skill gap between the pro or established teams and the rookie teams is growing wider and wider.
Yeah, even for ShowTime here, I must say that although their record is at 0-3, I like that they're always able to put a point on the board when it comes to item mode. I feel like that's where they've been able to shine so far, which gave an opportunity to Ghost to finally have his debut in the ace match. Unfortunately, it didn't go their way. I feel like a lot of these ace matches are just not going in the way of the rookie teams.
Yeah, and I mean, that's part of being a rookie too, is you're coming here on stage and maybe you don't have as much experience or you're not as established. And it's a lot of pressure. We were talking about this earlier in the first ace match of the day, where, I mean, you feel this pressure there as summer, and it can be difficult to deliver against an established veteran who you know is going to be calm, going to not really care too much if he loses, because, you know, it's one match in a career. But if you're a veteran, I mean, those first couple of ace matches, if you don't win them and you just start losing and losing and losing, it can be hard to have faith in yourself.
Yeah, and then in order to even get to the ace matches, you first need to be good as a team and win at least in speed or item. And I feel like as long as the rookie teams can keep doing that and get more opportunities, they might have a shot.
Guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we get back, solo match, Group C, round of 32. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you soon.
박수와 함께 시작합니다.
잘 들리지? 누구 바람이야?
좋은데? 주호가 나 아니야. 나 손 안 쉬고 있어. 숨을 안 쉬고 있어?
나 웃겨 들리는데 숨소리가.
나도. 애초에 나도 들리는 건데.
나만 안 들림.
너네.
정가원데.
맨날 개인전하고 바로 집에 가는 거.
그니까. 난 개인전 해본 적 없는데.
그래 나 스피드 가면 말 못하니까 태민이가 멘탈 케어 잘 해주고 오늘 마지막 경기 아니고 첫 경기니까 마음 편하게 하고
방금 프리슨 여러 가지 실험을 했습니다. 차라리 미들 가는 선수가 그 부스터 가속을 이용해서 미들을 휘저어주는 게 더 나을 수도 있다. 이런 판단도 또 하는 것 같아요.
막아줄게.
또 이렇게 상대를 좀 공략해주기 위한 포지션 가고 있네요.
오케이.
이제 못 들어?
그러니까 이렇게 상이 만들어졌을 때 뒤쪽에서는 활개를 칠 거고 아니 언제 올라왔어?
와, 이거 아까 팔이 아니었어요?
그냥 놀게 뒤에서 그냥 뽀백하고 싶어.
스피 왜 이래요? 스피 어디까지 할 거예요?
마지막
어디까지 할 거예요?
주까지도 한번 더 보고 있는
여기
것
들어간 거
같은데요.
보고 성빈 월드쿨이에요. 그리고
6등이야.
나 원래 2등만 할라 했는데. 유창은 퍼펙트 했어야지 뭐해.
내절 좀 많이 했어.
나이스. 나 팔이 맞아.
그냥 더 나이스. 나이스. 힘이 맞아.
뒤로
형 계속 가.
깜짝이야.
나 빠먹었다. 날개 있고. 태원이 사이드 한 번. 사이드. 먼저 해. 맞지 말기.
태원이 맞지
2등
마.
안물.
나 필드.
거리
거리하자.
하자. 생각. 거리 할게. 거리.
힘이 쓸게. 바다에서. 된다 3등.
풀었어. 나이스.
내 팀몰이야. 나 미사일.
나 승민이가 빨게.
해지 있고. 1파 줬어. 선. 1파 들었어. 봐봐. 거리 돼. 너네 거리해.
형 가. 내가 갈게.
서줘. 내가 서줄게.
역전이 안 되거든요. 여기.
바리케이드로도 안 될 것 같거든요. 그냥 막
애결 갑니다.
나이스.
나이스. 와, 애결 가자. 발이 안 맞으면 져야지. 잘한다.
대결 빌리지 무밀 터널이 나왔고요.
오케이, 다 속았다. 다 속았다.
나는 조금 한 70%? 할게. 괜찮네. 뭐가? 하고 싶다는 거야, 안 하고 싶다는 거야? 내가 할게. 확실하게 하고 싶은 거야, 건아? 오케이. 일단 믿어주자.
오히려 뒤쪽에서 과감하게 승부를 걸 수 있다라는 장점이 있기 때문에 근데 썸머가 회복이 나쁘지가 않아요.
그렇죠. 이 빌드를 타면 그 다음부터 드랩거리로 접근할 수 있죠.
안 돼요 썸머.
순식간에 왔습니다.
좋았는데요.
좋았는데 여기가 한번 걸렸는데 이러면 월드 실수를 약간 바랄 수 없는 상황인데 마지막에 피날레는 월드.
잘 들려?
야 인파 있어 인파.
통계 있어. 인파 있어. 천사 있어.
스턴 맞다. 탈고요.
여기 애들 소리 좀 전체적으로 올려주세요. 다 하고 있어봐. 더 계속 얘기해봐. 그만해도 돼.
현수야. 너 화면 봐도 된다는 거지?
친하지 않게 봐. 너의 그 시선이 느껴지면 안 돼, 나한테.
시선이 느껴지면 안 돼? 오케이.
연습해봐. 쳐다보는 연습 옆에서.
오케이. 야 여기 쳐다보는 연습을 하자 그럼. 야, 지금 느껴져?
안 느껴져.
안 느껴져?
이렇게 다 말해버리고 보면 어떡해.
월드 챔피언 연기 되겠습니다. 지금부터 달려보시죠. 이라고 거짓말을 해버렸어요. 지금 달리지 않을 거예요.
뭐야 이거? 진짜 고장났나 본데? 마이크가 켜져 있대. 이거 왜 켜져 있는 거야 이거?
너 달릴 때 5.5 화면에 너 목소리 나오는
큰일 날 뻔했네 이거.
이 트랙 같은 경우에는 중반부에 힙싸움을 해야 되는 필연적인 구간이 있기 때문에 그 부분을 버텨낼 수 있는 팀이 이 트랙을 가져가게 되겠습니다.
진짜 뚫을게. 미안.
이거 살짝 아프다.
우리가 뚫어볼게.
괜찮아?
우리 살면서 하자 돼. 오케이. 간단하게.
딜플레이 좀 좋겠다.
일단 뭐라 병.
18이야.
들어.
뒤로 하겠다.
한거 봐줄게.
18이야, 3대. 8등 고정이야, 7등 모르겠어.
오케이.
18 고정이야. 18 고정이야.
떨었어. 고정 아니야. 고정 아니야.
어떡해? 나못 치다.
나 3등 할 수 있어.
오케이, 3등 해봐.
나 8이야 8.
니리 3위 할 수 있어요. 1위 병수.
트랙
들어오면
싸움.
나이스.
아니 뭐냐고. 괜찮아.
아 이거 잘했는데 우리 앞에.
까비.
미안.
선수들이 자석을 모으고 마지막에 천사를 모으는데 좀 집중을 했었는데 최근에는 완전 다릅니다.
천천히 해봐.
1파 줄게 1파.
어깨 같이 나온다.
네. 1파 들려. 천천히.
나 미사일.
버리네.
공진 대기.
발이 뛰었어.
하나. 해 뜬다고 생각해.
이거 나다? 아 누나 쳐줄게.
번개 초반이야 나.
하나 더 쳐줄게.
상처.
나 끝까지 가온다 이거.
뺐어.
나 부자리 받았다.
나 스위치 하나 타볼게. 앞에 와줘.
끌려가고 있다는 건 약간 이제 센세이션에게는 좋은 소식은 아닌데 템을 모으고 있어요.
뒤에 땡겨서 와봐.
나 따블 먹고 갈게 따블. 미들 사이드 미들.
쳐.
준비 주고. 형도 뺐어 하나.
상점. 나이스.
그 마지막에 해지 불러야겠다.
번개 콜해줘.
따봐.
미사일.
형 뺐어. 이제 뺐다.
지금 따가.
대기.
포도에서 하자.
지금.
째줘.
콜했어.
타.
하나 더 있었네. 아이고.
나 팔이야. 아 팔이 못 파는.
이거지.
나이스.
이거지.
두 번.
퇴근. 월드 뉴욕 대주주.
이거 어때? 일 어떠세요?
우거진 일이 만납니다.
굉장히 재밌는 승부 될 것
그리고
같습니다.
다른 약간 실수가 있었고
자 거의 다 왔습니다. 딜이 이렇게 자연스럽게 붙어버렸습니다.
점프하는 직선 구간에서 드랩을 받기 위해서 약간 조절을 했던 딜인데 일단 그래도 붙는 데까지는
딜이
성공하죠.
좀 갈렸어요. 이러면은 딜이 좀 과감하게 한번 가볼 수 있나요?
뚫어내는 완전히가. 이거 소중히 어떤 타이밍 지금 일단 부선 약간 타는데 여기서.
And welcome back to the KDL. I'm Stay. With me is Peter. We just finished our team matches for the night, and we're getting ready to go to round of 32, Group C in the solo matches. A lot of rookies, a lot of veterans. Might be some upsets today. I'm excited to find out who's going to win.
Yep, I'm always happy to be here for the solo matches because, as I said before, it's like a new flavor on your dinner plate after all the intense team matches that we just played as we take a look at the overview.
I love the way you put it, like a new flavor on the plate. Yeah, it really is, because solo match Kart Rider is a different beast entirely than team matches. We look at round of 32. We are now on Group C of round of 32, so we're getting ready to wrap this up. Bottom four of the players that played today will be eliminated, so there's a lot on the line as we continue to progress through this tournament. All these racers want to get that first place 10 million Korean won prize, just shy of 10,000 US dollars, and only 4 of them will advance, as here we got to look at the total standings overall.
Neo Cool Dutzian World, it's no surprise that they made it out of Group A, and as we take a look at Group B, it was Most who was known for his really flashy plays in online, and he was able to represent that again in offline, along with Spear, Hojin, and Hero. Now it's Group C, and we're wondering which 4 of them is going to move on. We talked about potentially DDING, SUNGBIN, Load, and HyunSu, and I think it might be like that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be likely. We really haven't had a lot of upsets in team match or in solo match. I think perhaps the biggest upset was HyunSu, formerly known as Speed, not advancing out of Group B on Sunday. That was a big surprise to me watching back at home. But here in Group C, I mean, we have a lot of very green rookies that are going to be competing here today. And then we also have players the likes of HyunSu, of SUNGBIN, of DDING, who are very established and known quantities, highly talented, that you got to think are going to be a favorite to get out.
Yeah.
And just to keep in mind, by the way, HyunSu, he is ill, so he will be playing Group C from home online. Hopefully he gets better. We'll be back in the studio very soon. But you got to keep that in mind. That could affect his performance here today.
Hopefully in a good way, a home buff, right? Because nothing beats playing on your own personal PC in your room where you feel comfortable.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a veteran, right? I think he wants to be healthy. He wants to be here in the studio, so hopefully he'll get well soon as we look at Skald wearing the yellow stripes here in the KDL preseason. He would love to prove himself here and make his way onto the round of 16 of the Kart Rider Drift League.
And next we have DDING, a very well-known player now in Seongnam ROX esports, and he's a player that has made it to the final top 8 in solo match in preseason 1, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him do that again in preseason 2.
Yeah, he's been consistently improving. Good addition to ROX esports. Very solid as we have a lot of fans here supporting DDING. A lot of love going around. And we'll see if he can continue his rise in solo match. Meanwhile, SUNGBIN says he's going to beat Load today and make him re-sign in the army. Absolutely brutal, SUNGBIN.
Re-sign to the army, I think it has to be one of the biggest nightmares for a lot of Korean males here. He's really digging into that weakness.
Yeah, of course, mandatory military service here for young men in Korea as we get a look at Feiz. Today's fortune, the eyesore competitor will naturally disappear. I don't know exactly what that means. Is he saying if you lose, you're ugly? I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
I guess it's just that, you know, he was saying that's the fortune that he received today.
Oh, the fortune. He got a fortune told.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he got it literally told at a place, but that's his fortune, so.
I actually know from previous games that I competed in, some pro gamers would go to fortune tellers before their matches, so I wouldn't be surprised if some people still did it.
That's cool. But of course, Navi here, he's not here looking for any fortunes. He just wants to fly like a butterfly, as
fly
science
like a
has
butterfly,
it.
Sting like a bee, man. Navi would love to make it one of the most green rookies that we have here in the KDL preseason, too. And then Load, he says he will not reinstate into the army. Now, Load surprised a ton of people in his preliminary stage qualifying for the solo match. He placed in a group with SUNGBIN, World, and Percent first. He got first place in that group to qualify here for the KDL. So there are a lot of players, a lot of fans also that have their eyes on Load and expect him to kind of upset the crowd and advance to the round of 16.
But here's Joker also looking for an upset of his own. He's wanting to make it to the round of 16, even saying that he will probably do it despite it being his first time showing up in the KDL solo matches.
Maybe he can ride a little bit of momentum from his team games earlier with Sensation, right? I mean, they just had a fantastic performance in team speed, and we'll see if that carries over into solo as HyunSu. He just wants to survive, man. He wants to go to the round of 16. He wants to get healthy, get back into the studio. Hopefully he will be able to join us soon. HyunSu playing from home in the orange stripes.
Yep, but HyunSu looks very comfortable there, so I'm sure that his gameplay is not going to be affected much. It won't be too surprising to see HyunSu surviving, as he said, in the top 4.
I would be very surprised if he got knocked out here, to be completely frank. I mean, since Kart Rider Season 2 in 2020, he's been in the top 8 pretty much every single season, if not every season. As HyunSu is just one of the best, most consistent riders. As I learned this recently, that Korean fans often call him Square because his face is kind of shaped like a square. He's got like a strong jawline, right?
Yep.
HyunSu says that we are living in the Square era, so we'll see if that continues here. As all these fans coming in to support their favorite players in the solo match of Group C. Oh, I'd love to see a packed crowd like this here.
Yeah, we see some fans coming in for Joker, and I saw even a fan saying that they arrived to see Perfect, who's not playing in KDL, but they were like, you know what, I may as well watch KDL now too.
Of course, man. It's going to be so much fun to come down here. If you guys are in Seoul, make sure you make your way down to the studio to catch some KDL live. But we're going to get ready to go into track number 1 here in Group C. It will be WKC Brazil Circuit.
We kick off the race in the first round of our solo match, Group C, round of 32, as we see Feiz leading the pack.
SUNGBIN actually with a little bit of sweeping right there. A little bit of dogfighting to work his way all the way up into top 3 and solidify his position.
And now we see Ding, he's maintaining that first place pretty well so far. Ever since he got it, he hasn't done it. We see HyunSu taking a completely different line there, and that's going to set him back quite a bit.
Got some very different builds here on on the Brazil circuit, as HyunSu looking to just build that nitro gauge a little bit and maintain momentum at the cost of having a little bit more distance. We'll see how that plays in his favor as he works his way now through the ranks all the way up into 5th.
Yep, the strategy difference is now coming to play. We see Load leading the pack along with SUNGBIN, and it feels like every single player is just trying so hard to keep up in the front, but the rankings are constantly changing as we take more and more turns.
Yeah, and Load is doing really well too, just really proving exactly what fans were saying about him heading into the match today, holding on to first place and also ahead of Nitro Gauge from a lot of other players.
Right, you see SUNGBIN, he's holding up the rear right now. HyunSu in 3rd place, and we're seeing Ding fall back all the way into 6th place. I don't think it's going to be likely for him to recover unless he finds a different build.
Well, let's see, Ding gonna try and make a play. Actually, a lot of big collisions right there is gonna work Ding all the way up into 6th as he just continues to try and close the distance. Keep in mind that he is able to draft quite well from this position, but it's such a tight peloton ahead of him as now Skald trying to close the distance. He is in 4th, working his way up to 3rd.
Oh, HyunSu, however, he takes the tightest inner there, and he's going to be able to get a nice lead off of that one, but now he's going to collide into the other players on the grass field. Now it's Skald leading the pack, a player we didn't expect.
Yeah, a bit of an underdog story here for Skald. He's able to work his way into the top 2, fighting up with Joker and HyunSu as it's so close, 200 meters away from the finish line. Who's going to be able to cross it first? It looks like on this straightaway it will be Joker, able to take the lead. And Ding, also to his credit, man, he was in 6th, 7th place for a long time, able to, in that last final stretch, work his way into 2nd.
Who would have said it would be Joker, Ding, Skald, and Feiz in the top 4 of a round 1 of solo matches? I don't think many people would have named these players, and it's great that the rookies are showing up. They want their upset, and it starts right here.
Yeah, for Joker, Skald, and Feiz, that's a really fantastic start. And a bit of an unexpected one here on Brazil's circuit is now Joker also being in 1st place. Not only does he get 10 points, 20% of the way to that 50 points that you need to go on to the round of 16, but also he gets to pick the next track. So this is going to be a very comfortable position for him.
Yeah, you absolutely want to be able to build that momentum, and there's no better way to do that than to be able to pick your own track where you know you're going to be pretty confident in your own builds. And so far, I feel like a player like Skald that we haven't seen too much of, if he's able to show up today, then we may have to start looking at him more.
Yeah, it's possible, man. 1st place is no small feat here in such a stacked lobby with so many veterans. As I would love to see some of these rookies come through and, create some upsets. We haven't seen it in team matches so far in preseason 2. As of yet, we haven't really seen it in solo matches either, but here in Group C, it looks like the rookies have a little bit of fight in them.
Yeah, and SUNGBIN, a player from Guangdong Freak, so well known for his consistency, is sitting at 8th place right now in -1, so he needs to get some recovery. Let's see if he's able to do that here in 2nd track, Mine 3 shortcuts.
Off we go, track number 2 of round of 32, Group C. Feiz already in 1st place with a really nice line out of the gates and some collisions slowing down the likes of Navi and SUNGBIN there.
However, SUNGBIN does want some blood right now. He wants to recover some of that points that he's lost already. Feiz still keeping up a nice lead with Skald and Navi following not too behind.
Man, with all this nitrous coming through, there's a lot of speed, a lot of collisions. As it's been a messier race to start things out. Many players clipping walls at a lot of moments is going to mean that this pack is spread quite thin here from 1st to 8th place. Skald, despite his great start here in track number 1, off to a bad one here in track 2.
Yeah, right now it's SUNGBIN leading the pack at number 1, followed by Navi. You can see Ding, he tried to go for a nice little build for himself, but his line was blocked out. Now you see HyunSu, he has an ironclad grip on 4th, even 3rd right now.
Yep, let's see now. SUNGBIN, he's doing a great job of just consolidating that first place position. Navi's trying his best to contest, but SUNGBIN just kind of playing his own build right here in lap number 2. And there hasn't been too much contention.
Yeah, feels like everyone's playing their own builds right now, not too concerned about sweeping, because after all, it is a solo match where you should be worried only about yourself, but it's SUNGBIN with the best build so far.
Yeah, Navi fighting for his position a little bit, will get overtaken there by both DDING and HyunSu, as now they're fighting for the top 3 positions here. HyunSu doing his best to build up that nitro stage as best he can. We'll see what line he takes. See if he can pass DDING and SUNGBIN, as it looks like he wants to go for that inner line, but DDING just zoning him out a little bit here. SUNGBIN holding on to that first place position.
Yeah, SUNGBIN having some excellent blocks right now to make sure that no one can get across, especially HyunSu trying to go for the inner and surpass SUNGBIN to take first place.
Yeah, HyunSu there with a draft and the boost, able to take first place from SUNGBIN's grasp and secure 10 points on the board. That's going to be fantastic for him, moving up all the way to 13 points in total. So good on HyunSu, man. That was a fantastic finish to a really tough race.
Yeah, we see Joker, he didn't make it onto the podium finish at all, so he's going to be set behind a bit as he finishes 6th place, only getting 1 point. So now he is effectively behind HyunSu in terms of standings, but he does still have a nice lead away from the 4th place.
Yeah, was not able to repeat that great performance that he had winning track number 1, but, you know, still tied for top 2. It's a good position to be in here. Only 3 players right now in double digits as we continue our race to 50 points.
It's looking really close, I must say, State. You know, the players that are in the lead are constantly shifting, so I don't feel like we're going to have any player racing to 50 anytime soon. Unless HyunSu now starts racking up wins here, of course.
It's possible, man. HyunSu absolutely can do it. This guy's a veteran and one of the best in the business, not only in team match speed, but also in solo speed.
Yep, I feel like HyunSu is a player that definitely can't be set behind by such little health issues. You know, he's gonna man through it, and he's shown it already in round 2, and he's picked up the 3rd track of his choice. It's going to be in World Tour Rio de Janeiro. So let's see if he can continue his lead and get another 10 points for himself. Off we go into round number 3 of solo match. Round of 32, Group C. We have HyunSu sitting at 2nd place about in his track.
Yeah, jumping out of the airplane, hot and heavy here as SUNGBIN in 1st place is continuing to do really well here. He's only in 5th place in the standings, but so far he's been very consistent, constantly fighting for these top spots, and this is a great start for him on Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, now SUNGBIN, he's leading the pack once again. We've seen SUNGBIN run away with these leads time and time again, but last time he did lose it in the final moment, so hopefully he's able to hold on to it, given that this is a one-lapper track.
Yeah, meanwhile, HyunSu right behind him, looking to go back-to-back with wins here. Sitting in 3rd place, we come now into the football pitch. HyunSu going to try and take that inner line, not able to pass Joker, as Joker, despite having that poor performance there in the previous track, is rebounding.
Yeah, Joker, he absolutely needs to get those podium finishes if he wants to stay ahead. Right now, it's Navi in the lead for 1st place, and this could be big for him because he has 5 points, which is only 2 points behind the 4th place.
Yeah, SUNGBIN's right behind him and try and grab and close the distance as best he can. As we're only 500 meters now from the finish line. SUNGBIN is holding on to 1st place, does have a good nitro base too. That's HyunSu once again with the draft, going to try and pass, but no, not this time. Is actually DDING from the outside, able to get the 1st place finish there just ahead of SUNGBIN. Navi and HyunSu rounding out the podium there in positions 3 and 4.
These are one of the rare moments in solo matches where we have 3 tracks being played, 3 different winners right off the bat. No one's really able to solidify themselves as the ace player here.
Yeah, it's a little more balanced than I was expecting coming into this one. I thought that a lot of the greenhorns, the rookies, entering this field with veterans such as DDING, such as SUNGBIN, such as HyunSu, were going to struggle. And although those 3 veterans did get podium finishes here, it's looking good for the rookies, man. They are putting up a fight.
Not good, however, for Feiz. He was sitting at 4th place previously before this track, but now he's going to get pushed down by SUNGBIN and Navi, who's had phenomenal finishes in the track here.
And for Load, who had such a great preliminary run performance to qualify for the solo match round of 32, sitting right now in 8th place with only 1 point hurts a lot. The expectations on this kid, they're high. They want him to do well. And we'll see if he can step it up here as we get ready to go to track number 4. Now, one of the boons for the players that are lower in the standings overall right now is that the fact that we don't have repeat winner after repeat winner means that we have more Kart Rider Drift left to play here as we continue our race towards 50 points. Going on to the next track, it will be Glacier Extreme Stadium. And here we go on Extreme Stadium. Ding right now in first place with 21 points. HyunSu and Joker right behind him.
You know, it's looking really concerning for Load right now, sitting at 8th place overall standings with only 1 point. And we looked at Load as a player that was going to make it into top 4, so he needs to start securing some of those podium finishes.
Yeah, would love to see that there from Load, as he did so well in preliminary groups, despite them being stacked with veterans. We thought that would carry over here in the round of 32, but so far it hasn't, and he's going to have to step up a little bit if he wants to qualify for the round of 16. Keep in mind, the bottom 4 players in this lobby, once eliminated, they're going home.
Yeah, but a player like Joker that we didn't expect to see sitting at 3rd place right now, he is keeping up in the ranking, 2nd place just behind HyunSu, and if he can get another really high place finish like this, he may solidify that lead even further.
Yeah, navigating those hairpin turns very well was Joker, as he's solidified his position here in 2nd place. SUNGBIN and Ding are going to be trying to catch up behind him now. SUNGBIN trying to take that inner line, seeing if he can supplant Joker from this position. Meanwhile, HyunSu just continuing to race very well all the way from home despite being sick here in 1st place.
Exactly what we were expecting to see from HyunSu. He's constantly able to go in the highest rankings possible throughout the races. And so far, seems like Joker is also holding on to his ranking pretty nicely. SUNGBIN unable to pass Joker for that 2nd spot.
Yeah, the standings have kind of solidified here a little bit. We occasionally see 2nd and 3rd place changing hands, but HyunSu more or less been having an iron grip there on that 1st place. Let's see if he can hold on to it now, coming into the hairpin turn. SUNGBIN looking for that inner line, not able to find it though. HyunSu doing a great job of coming through with this build. SUNGBIN, is he able to find the ground? Keep in mind, he does have 1 more nitro in the bag than HyunSu, so he's going to use that momentum to pass him here. 100 meters away from the finish line. It will be SUNGBIN with that boosted nitro, able to come through with a win, but HyunSu still with another top 2.
You saw SUNGBIN and HyunSu there just kind of poking at each other like, hey, get out of my line, I want the 1st place. But it was eventually SUNGBIN who won the blows, and he was able to steal that 1st place away from HyunSu, who was holding it pretty much throughout the whole track.
That's going to be really nice for SUNGBIN, working his way up to 23 points. Is going to solidify his position in qualifying here. We're getting closer and closer now. Once we see the standings, I think we're more than halfway towards that 50-point mark, which is where the race will be called and the standings will be finalized. Yes, yeah, man, it is so close here on the top. Ding, HyunSu, SUNGBIN, and Joker kind of running away with this thing.
Joker is on top form today in solo matches. He definitely does not plan on giving up that 4th spot anytime soon. It feels like Navi being the player closest to closing that gap, but he's still 8 points behind, which would require him to finish 1st.
And Joker perhaps an underdog coming into this group, but keep in mind that him on Sensation, their team speed matches went so well for them. A lot of that momentum and confidence, you can see it carrying through here into the solo matches. Joker, he's racing very well. He might not be getting podium every single time. He might not be getting 1st or 2nd, but hey, he's 4th place overall right now with 19 points, and that's the cutoff.
Yeah, and we're going to see what track Ding picked for us here. It's going to be Desert Construction Chaos for our track number 4. Let's head into it. I correct myself, it was the choice of SUNGBIN here, not Ding, because he was able to steal that win off HyunSu there. But whatever the case, we're now in Construction Chaos with Skald being in the lead. It's been a while since we've seen that.
Yeah, Skald off to a very nice start here, followed by the veterans HyunSu, Ding, and SUNGBIN, who over the past couple of tracks seem like they've really solidified themselves and are just playing so consistently right now, not making any mistakes, really just, playing their builds and doing it well.
Yeah, right now it's HyunSu once again finding that lead. This guy, he's always in podium. If you take your eyes off of the screen for a second, you're guaranteed to see HyunSu there every time you look back in top 4 pretty much. And Skald, he's doing really well.
Yeah, Skald through this upper section has been able to hold on to the first place for the majority of it. Ding does now pass him with a tight inner line, but so far for Skald, this is really good for him. He needs these points to start climbing the ranks a little bit and get closer to that top 4 cutoff. Meanwhile, HyunSu, you're gonna see him waiting in the wings right now, building this nitrous gauge. A lot of drafting. I would not be surprised to see him make a play here in lap number 2.
This is not looking good for Joker. However, he finally won the body check against Load coming into 7th place. But if he ends up ending at 7th place, that's going to lose a lot of momentum in his points. When we take a look at Navi, he's in 5th place right now.
And Navi right now in 5th place as the veterans continue to fight for these top 3 spots alongside Skald, the rookie. It is SUNGBIN, Ding, and HyunSu in the top 3 right now. Skald really wants to get more points on the board here, and if he can supplant either HyunSu, Ding, or SUNGBIN here for a top 3 spot, he would love to do it, but HyunSu just doing such a good job building this nitrous. We'll see if he's able to ride this momentum and make some plays, but right now it feels like SUNGBIN and Ding, a little bit of a collision there is going to give HyunSu an opportunity.
Yeah, Skald, he did manage to fall behind off of that collision. Now Navi is contesting for that 4th place as we see Joker once again falling back down all the way to 8th place. He needs to recover here because this is the last lap.
Yeah, the real story right now is this 1v1 battle that just keeps taking place here between SUNGBIN and Ding with only 400 meters left to go. Both with 1 nitrous in the back. Ding maybe too far away here from the finish line to close the distance. And yeah, it will be SUNGBIN who secures another 10 points.
SUNGBIN is coming in right now to say, you know what, I'm ending the solo match soon. You guys are taking too many points right now. I want to be able to move on with my position here as we see Joker, man. He was having such a nice little lead for himself, keeping up in that 4th place overall standings, but by coming in 8th place here, he is going to lose a point.
Yeah, that is tough there for Joker as we see SUNGBIN set a new record here.
Nice.
On Construction Chaos, and I'm curious to see exactly where the standings lie because you got to think that Navi was this top 3 finish is going to close the distance, and yeah, now only 2 points separating Joker from Navi, whereas it feels like the 3 veterans, SUNGBIN, Ding, and HyunSu, all but assuredly will be heading to the round of 16.
SUNGBIN and HyunSu and Ding, these 3, they've been absolutely on top 4 today. Every time you look at the race, it's almost been them in top 4 always, so I don't think they're gonna fall out of the standings anytime soon. As you said, State, it's all about the battle between 4th place and 5th place right now.
Yeah, I mean, a 10-plus point lead between HyunSu in 3rd and Joker in 4th just means that the rest of these rookies, they're really battling just to qualify for round of 16 because, of course, the bottom 4 players in this group are going home and not advancing. So, for you watching at home, Joker and Navi at 18 and 16 points apiece. They're the main stories. Behind them, Skald at 8, Feiz at 6, and Load at 5. Would have a lot of work to do if they want to come back and win this thing and qualify for the round of 16 as we get ready to go to the next track. It will be Village Boom Hill Tunnel. Off we go on Boom Hill Tunnel as the veterans continue to dominate here. Ding off to another great start. SUNGBIN and HyunSu as well, contesting pole positions.
SUNGBIN looking to rack up some more of 10 points for himself because he's at 33 points. If he gets 2 more of those, it would be the end of the race. But currently, we're seeing Ding and Joker in top 2 spots. Joker absolutely needs this.
Yeah, Joker really turning it around here in the second half. Ooh, a little bit of a bad collision there. We'll push him back into 5th place, right behind Navi, in fact. So Navi out for blood. We'll see if he can try and create some collisions or potentially pass Joker here. Because keep in mind, only 2 points are separating these players, and they are in the qualifying spots.
But there's still quite a big lead right now for Joker over Navi. He's right behind HyunSu, trying to keep up with the lines of the top players, because as long as you can do that, it is your chance to make it back into top 3.
Yeah, meanwhile, Feiz 8, who was sitting at only 6 points, is able to work his way into 1st place very quietly here, and now 3 players Feiz, HyunSu, and SUNGBIN all taking this upper build will give them a bit of a boost here as we enter the latter portions of this track.
Ooh, SUNGBIN looking for a nice inner there, and he does manage to steal first place yet again. Now it's HyunSu coming up the rank. He's trying to take it.
HyunSu with a beautiful inner line right there. Able to pass SUNGBIN with Feiz. Somehow out of nowhere with this, Nitrous able to snatch victory. First place and 10 points are going to go to Feiz. SUNGBIN in second, Navi falling all the way down to 8 is going to hurt his chances, hinder his chances, I should say, of advancing to the next round, to the round of 16, as the contention for that top 4 spot gets deeper and deeper.
Yeah, now Feiz is up here saying, hey guys, I just got 10 points. I'm at 16 points now. You guys better worry because I'm also looking for that 4th place spot. And who would have thought it was going to happen here as he gets even a new record?
That was a beautiful race there for Feiz. It seems like at the very end, he avoided a lot of collisions and just somehow was able to thread the needle and take the perfect line with that Nitrous. We'll bring him up to 16 points now, 5 points away from Joker, but keep in mind, SUNGBIN right now sitting at 40 points is in striking distance of sending this thing packing. One victory will send us all home. It takes 50 points, to win the round. So the pressure is on here for these rookies in 4th and 5th place to get some more points on the board in this next track.
Yeah, that's the snowball of SUNGBIN finishing 2nd place right there after having 2 back-to-back 1st place finishes. At this point, it might be mission keep SUNGBIN locked up if you're Feiz or Navi because they're still 5-6 points away from Joker at 4th.
Yeah, certainly got to keep that in the cards there for these rookies as they got to do everything in their power to come back in this one as we're going to WKC Korea Circuit.
Off we go into the first track picked by Feiz so far here in Group C of round 32. As we see SUNGBIN, he's looking for that 1st place.
Yeah, he is already in 2nd place, and that 1st place will send the group home and close the standings out. So there's a lot on the line here for everybody as Joker 8 right behind him is going to try and take that 1st place position. He does for now. But SUNGBIN, he's been so good, so resilient in every single race. It feels like he's contesting that 1st place spot.
His line has been absolutely impeccable, but Joker, he manages to come in from the outside. Now he wants to challenge SUNGBIN. He does manage to dodge the body check as well.
He dodges the body check. SUNGBIN able to pass him here as we're getting closer and closer to starting the 2nd lap, SUNGBIN just consolidating his position, but you just see how close all these racers are right now. Joker right behind him, as well as the veterans.
Right now we see Load, he's actually been able to come up all the way into the top 3 and he's looking for the 1st place. Joker also taking a nice line for himself there. DDING coming out of nowhere from the outside with a huge boost.
And SUNGBIN now falling all the way down to 5th and 6th place means that we might have another track after this one. So for these rookies, this is a little bit of a chance for you to breathe some life into your game here and get closer and closer to that round of 16 now. Joker 8 in 1st place would love to add some points to his total.
Yeah, Feiz, he picked this track, but he's all the way down in 7th place. Now, he might fall out of 4th place contention off this one, especially if Joker, he managed to stay 1st. It's only Load right now trying to apply some pressure.
Yeah, there's only a little bit of track left, so Joker, if he can hold on and body block both Navi, Load, and HyunSu here and hold on, he would love to do it, man. He would love to solidify that 4th place ranking, but it will actually be Navi supplanting him here just for a moment. But then Joker once again takes back 1st, and now Navi, they just keep changing hands. Joker falls all the way back to 5th.
Oh my goodness, now it's DDING and Joker now coming to fight back for his 1st place, but he is now behind in 4th place, and it's HyunSu who manages to come in 1st.
Yeah, HyunSu there with 1st place, and SUNGBIN somehow behind all of the chaos was actually able to sneak his way back into 2nd place. So, if I'm not mistaken, that's going to put him at 47 points, which means that given the way that HyunSu has been racing so far today, that all but assures that this next track will be the last one. So, looking at where the standings are going to land, there's going to be a lot on the line. I mean, for Joker, that was a good position for him. He got 4th place, but Navi right behind him there or I should say ahead of him in third place, means that he will be very close behind in the standings.
And SUNGBIN, he finished second place, so despite not being able to close it off there, he's at 47 points now, meaning he needs to finish 5th place or higher in the next track to be able to close it off. And a guy like SUNGBIN, with the form he has today, I think it's pretty likely to say he'll finish above 5th.
Couldn't have said it better myself, as SUNGBIN right now at 47 points is so close to closing out this group, as it feels like. We've all but guaranteed that the 3 veterans are going to advance to the next stage. The question now is which rookie will join them in the round of 16?
Well, I do think right now it's all about Joker and Navi brawling it out for that 4th place. However, Feiz, he has a chance. That's only if Joker finishes last place and Feiz finishes 1st, so that's quite a tall thing to ask for.
Yeah, I think that, well, while it's mathematically possible for Feiz to advance should this be the last track, I think that it's very unlikely, and hopefully Navi will be able to make something happen and create some contention there, because I would love to see this one go all the way down to the wire between Joker and Navi. Keep in mind, 5 points separating them. There aren't a lot of opportunities here for Navi if Joker races well. He's going to need, I mean, Navi's going to need a lot of life here. A 1st place, 2nd place, and 3rd place finish to potentially uplift Joker and pass him here in the standings. We're heading to potentially the last track. It will be Desert Ancient Aqueducts. Here we go on what might be the last track of the night. Ancient Aqueducts. HyunSu already off to a great start here in 1st place. Falls back down to 4th though, and oh, what a big collision right there.
Nice.
Navi took a lot of damage.
Yeah, and right now it's HyunSu sitting at 6th place. He needs 2nd place or higher to also be able to finish off the race himself. We're seeing SUNGBIN, he's at 5th place right now, the bare minimum he needs to close it off.
Yeah, 4th place right now for SUNGBIN as he continues to build this nitrous gauge, and here on this open track, we'll try to close the distance here with a bit of boosting as well. And now Joker, I mean, if he can hold on to this top 3 position, it's all but assured that he will be joining these veterans here in the top 16.
Especially when Navi's sitting all the way in 7th place. So
yeah.
Joker, he ideally wants the race to end here with him in podium, so he's praying that SUNGBIN is going to hold on to that 5th place, because Feiz, he does have 1st place contention, but he needed Joker to be last place to be able to get to that 4th place in the overall standings.
Yeah, it's a valiant effort for Feiz here, just holding on to this 1st place for as long as he can, but not only does he need that 1st place, he also needs his opponents to falter, and so far, that is not really going his way now, as Navi able to take 1st place for a moment there. Low does pass him, so we're just changing hands here between all of these rookies in the top 3.
Yeah, Feiz still holding on to that 1st place really well, but now it's Navi in 2nd place, way ahead of Joker. We might even see Joker fall down to last place at this point. He does!
Joker's all the way in last place right now, so Feiz actually might have a chance if he's able to get, you know, maybe 1st place or 2nd place. He might mathematically be able to qualify should this be the last track.
But then there's Navi as well in the top. Navi, he falls down to 4th place. This is really close right now, but Navi, he recovers and he does a spin turn.
What a spin turn, excuse me. I'm lost for words here. To recover
Navi!
there is Navi just with some heroics on the finish line. It is going to pass in 1st place. SUNGBIN in 4th place will pick up 4 more points, so that is going to be the last track of the day. Feiz finishing in 2nd will pick up 7 points. I think that moves him up to 22, which means that Joker all but assuredly will have qualified, unless Navi somehow got enough points. I have to see the math.
Joker coming in 3rd place definitely throws everything off. It's funny because Navi, Joker, and Feiz, these 3 players were in contention for 4th place, and they all finished podium.
Could we have a tie? This might be a tie for 4th place between Joker and Navi. Yeah, we have a tie for 4th place at 30 points apiece. I'm actually not sure what the tiebreaker rule is for this one. Do we go to a 1v1? Do we do another race?
Yep.
I'm not sure.
We are going to have a 1v1 between Navi and Joker to keep their hopes alive.
That is awesome.
It happened once before, and it's happening again here in KDL Preseason 2.
Oh, what a great treat that we're going to have a 1v1 race between Navi and Joker. There was only one way that it could have shaken out here in the final track, to have them tie it up at 30 points apiece, and that's just the way it's going to go, man. We're gonna have a 1v1. We're getting an ace match in solo.
The ace match of the ace match. This is the true one where you are now fighting just for yourself, and I think that must play some advantage into the mindset of the players, because I remember a player like Neil saying that he wanted to not really care about winning or losing when he came to Korea to play more kart rider, but whenever he loses, it was actually affecting his team in a negative way, and that's what started this pressure of wanting to win. But here in the solo match, if you lose, you're only doing a disservice to yourself, so hopefully both players will be able to race to their fullest.
Yeah, there shouldn't be as much pressure on these guys to advance to the round of 16 here, as opposed to, you know, the ace match in a team match with a larger prize pool, with more on the line, with not only your team's fans, but also your teammates and your coaching staff, hoping that you're going to come away with a win. As it looks like Brazil's circuit is going to be the final track of the day here in solo match. It will be a 1v1 between Navi and Joker to decide who will advance to the round of 16.
We begin the tiebreak of Group C round of 32 as we see Navi taking a completely different path from Joker there, and he's having a really nice lead.
Yeah, I'm liking Navi's build a little bit more here to start things out, but Joker is still in drafting range, and keeping up in boost means that he will be able to pass behind that gained momentum there by the draft. And now here we go, weaving between these tires. A little bit of a collision there on Joker, but he is able to rebound and collide with Navi as well, so not losing too much momentum.
Brazil's circuit looks so much different in a 1v1 format, as we saw Joker having a really nice block there on Navi. Now it seems the momentum has shifted.
Yeah, and not only did Joker get that sick body block there on Navi, but he also was able to take away a lot of Navi's nitrous gauge boosting because he's going slower, right? So Joker right now almost a full nitrous ahead, and in addition to that, I mean, it's what, 10, 15 meters separating him from Navi? Navi's got to pay for a slip up here from Joker, and he actually does find one.
Yeah, Navi managed to find the tighter line that gave him the positional advantage. Now, it's Joker playing the catch-up game. He needs to get back into drafting range.
Yeah, he is in drafting range, actually able to supplant Navi there for a moment, but actually now it's Navi who's a little bit better with the nitros gauge. So the pressure is on now for Joker. Can he keep up?
Joker trying to go for the inner to get the advantage right now. Now he's in front of Navi, but Navi's turn is going to come to try to take the inner, but Joker with a nice block there.
Yeah, Joker trying to collide with Navi and push him a little bit deeper there onto the grass, but Navi with a great inner line to recover here on this straightaway is going to pass him. This one's coming down to the wire, Peter.
Yeah, Navi's playing mind games right now to try to get in the line of Joker, but it took a big mistake there. Now Joker with a huge lead. Navi hits the wall on top of that.
I think that collision there with a wall by Navi might be the nail in the coffin. As we're getting closer and closer to the end here, we'll see Joker. He weaves through the tires to perfection here, 400 meters away. All the momentum on Joker's side. It looks like Joker from Sensation will be the final player from Group C to advance to the round of 16.
Man, Joker with the big upset today, and the great sportsmanship between two players is a nice sight to see.
Yeah, man, what a great day here for Joker. The players here of Sensation cheering him on as well. I mean, for Sensation, this has been a fantastic day. They absolutely dominated their team match, and Joker up here with a little bit of an upset, able to join the veterans SUNGBIN, HyunSu, and DDING to the round of 16. And man, they got to be feeling so good. From team match to solo match, this was Sensation's day.
Man, when Joker introduced himself coming into today, he was like, yeah, I'll probably make it in the top 4. And he actually did it. Just how is he able to pull it off in a Group C where we've had so many players being able to go for contention of 4th place, as you saw between Navi and Joker? There was so much back and forth here. There was no clear player, I would say, in the 4th place that was out driving anyone else, really.
Even Feiz had a really good showing there in the last couple of tracks to try and make a last-ditch effort to push for that top 4, but at the end of the day, Joker got the best end of that trade among the rookies, as him and 3 veterans will move on from round of 32 Group C into the round of 16. And I mean, just, man, Joker's got to be feeling so good right now with his performance today. I mean, coming into KDL Preseason 2, replacing Speed on Sensation's roster, it's big shoes to fill. Speed now the speed ace on his new team, Live Sandbox. And, you know, Joker, he is showing up in a big way for his team in a new season, and the future is looking bright.
For sure, and the team matches that we've seen so far from Sensation, it didn't really seem like Joker was really shining due to the fact that it was mostly Hojin trying to be that runner, whereas his teammates were playing mostly sweeping. But Joker's able to now show up here and say, hey, we have a great runner in Hojin, but I myself am pretty good at speed mode.
Yeah, and I mean, showing off in a lobby with 3 veterans like that and getting top 4 is also a very impressive feat, because as we could see from the very get-go, it was so competitive, and it wasn't just, you know, one veteran running away with it time and time again. We had rookies that were contesting podiums, it feels like every single race, and the veterans as well, just constantly changing hands. That was a competitive lobby, and Joker raced very well.
Yeah, that final round especially was crazy, as we said, because the 3 players competing for 4th place all made it onto podium. It was like, wait a minute, we got to do the math in now. Are they tied, or is someone winning here? And it was a tie, bringing us a tiebreaker. And it was really exciting, despite Joker having a bit of a one-sided victory. And at the end there, for the most part, it was really close in anyone's game.
Yeah, there was only one way for it to shake out, where they would have a tie between Joker and Navi to go to an ace match. And let's take a look at the results today, as it has been a fantastic day of action here at the KDL. And our first team match, main stage match 8, Seongnam ROX continuing to, you know, build some momentum here in Season 2 with Jong, with his new addition to their roster. Nice win over Potential.
Yeah, and the most surprising part was that ROX, they didn't pick Jong as their ace match representative. They trusted in DDING, their new member, and so far, it's working great. They have great chemistry as a team, DDING able to secure that ace match win over Potential.
That was a very solid victory there for Seongnam ROX. And in match number 2, Sensation just looked so dominant in speed mode. I think one of the most one-sided speed mode matches that we've had in team match here in KDL so far, not just in preseason 2, but also in preseason 1. It felt like Sensation synergized so well. If you guys missed this match, you got to go back and watch it. I mean, the way that Hojin ran away every single time, and the phenomenal sweeping from the middle and sweeping players on Sensation was just phenomenal. I mean, Guard especially, it felt like he was playing 1v3 and 1v4 at times against ShowTime, just completely shutting them down.
If we put the 2 team names together, it summarizes it perfectly. Sensations, ShowTime. That's basically what they had, because they were absolutely on top of their form with a 6-1 finish overall. That's going to be very nice to supplement their round wins, but it's not enough for them to be in 4th place. As we see, Guangdong Freaks and Live Sandbox, they're tied for 3rd right now, with Aura leading with 9 wins in round score, with Seongnam ROX having 5 round wins.
Yeah, Aura's off to a fantastic start right now, especially with that 9-round differential. I would not be surprised. I would actually, in fact, be surprised if the round differential didn't lead to a tiebreaker at some point during this season, because in a round-robin format with only 8 teams, there are only so many matches you get to play, right? And it feels like the pro teams are just really solidifying themselves here at the top, and Aura also showing up very well. But Sensation, given the way that they've performed today, I think could also be contesting top 4 throughout this entire season.
Yeah, we're absolutely setting up competition right now. It's going to be super fierce between the teams, but let's take a look at the solo match results so far here in the round of 32. We've seen Neocool Dutsy World moving on in Group A, Spear, Most Hojin Hero for Group B, and today in Group C, we've had DDING and SUNGBIN and HyunSu, who's had a rather easy time, we could say, whereas Joker, he had to play a tiebreaker to make it here.
Yeah, and this is going to be the matches lined up tomorrow, 6 p.m. KST. It'll be Guangdong Freaks versus Aura. That should be a very fantastic match with 2 teams that haven't lost yet, as well as Live Sandbox versus Seraphic.
Yeah, I feel like if Seraphic can take an upset win there, that would be great. And of course, in Group D, we have players like Jung, Luning, Percent Jimin. When you read from left to right, it's already packed.
I feel like Group D might be one of the most stacked lineups that we have here in solo match. And guys, that's going to be it for us today here at the KDL. We will be back again tomorrow at 6 p.m. KST. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Well, I ain't sure, but I think this girl is dangerous. Dangerous. Cause she be on my mind, last night was fabulous. Oh, oh, oh. I call her Miss Naughty Naughty, how she teases, oh my god. Oh my god. She make her brother heat up, yeah, yeah. I mean, she's hot like a heater. Thinking of seeing her again. Yeah, yeah. Take her out and fly away.